Alright. Alright. Okay, recap of last session. You guys started out last session at Lethair's house. Cheppy and Edwin had I'm gonna say mystery solving ghost adventure with no actual ghosts in the basement. Um, y'all went to bed. Edwin then had possibly an actual ghost encounter in his dreams. Before you guys all woke up and departed for the Silesian Peninsula. On your way there, you found the wreckage of a ship, a merchant ship, which it's highly likely that this was the ship Aulus was going to Arcanea on, but there was no sign of him. Instead, there was just hallways covered in blood, splattered with organs, in much the same manner that the professor back at the school had been killed all those years before. So I believe now you guys are just, excuse me, reconvening, because the party split up for a minute. Valente and Gare went to go investigate the island surrounding this little shipwreck, but unfortunately did not come up with anything. They found a trail that just ended in nothing.
I mean, ended. Nothing is a strong word for. I have an idea of what happened.
Yeah. Yes, you guys have all reconvened at the bottom of the boat, at the bottom of the ladder. The group's all back together again. Does anyone have any questions before we actually begin?
No.
No?
Nope.
All right. You guys are all together now.
Octavia just goes to go put her armor back on for a moment, just like, there was a lot. No Alice, but there was a lot on the ship.
Val raises an eyebrow and goes, "Care to elaborate?"
What Archibald and Edwin and Gottfried saw at the school, it was on the ship. Probably over 20 times.
I believe the exact number was 19.
19. Sorry,
No,
19.
you said 19 plus the captain.
Oh, right. I was bad at math.
So
I
20.
I
remember.
think I
It
made
was
fun
20.
of you for that. Yeah.
On around 20 times.
Val's face goes to like careful neutrality, and then he goes, "I know what happened."
Oh.
So what we found was a set of footprints that led to a location and then vanished. My best guess is that Aulus was chased there and then caught, and they warped away.
Well, shit. Well, now what do we do?
The Valente, the pigeon, do you think we could try to message him?
Do you think the pigeon would be able to access wherever he was being kept?
Yeah, I think he's probably wherever he had intended to take Lethair, probably, if I had to guess. Like,
So Belhalla.
yeah.
Oh, great.
I don't think the bird would be able to access him.
Yeah, you're right.
Val like sighs and like rubs his nose with his hand, like the bridge of his nose, and goes, "Well, I know that I was on the team of kill this guy, like 3 days ago, 4. Val knows how long ago it was. I don't.
It was Yeah, maybe like 3 or 4 days.
But I mean, I do feel bad that we kind of
He
sent him
wanted to go.
die.
Valente, we didn't send him to die.
He'd been with us, would this have happened? No.
Or
Well, that might be us instead.
yeah, what Edwin said. We don't know what would have happened if he decided to stay with us or if he didn't get on that ship. All we know is they were able to track him down.
I suppose you're right.
All right. So, are you guys going to depart from this island, or do you want to do more investigation? Yes.
I mean,
Archibald?
Archibald would probably be combing the beach a little bit while they're all talking.
Combing the beach.
Not
Are you
not
looking for anything
wandering off in the
particular?
woods exactly. Footprints, personal effects, or whatever.
Do you want to make like
Things
a
that
roll?
people would leave behind. A little hand-scrawled note that said, "Help! They've taken me to this place in the world." You know.
Do you want to make a roll for that?
I guess I do.
I will
yeah,
say,
sure.
Val and Gare did already follow a set of footsteps.
Yeah. Anything that's not that, basically, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
That's not good.
Just so Sam doesn't be like, well, you found some footsteps.
Yeah.
It's like, really, the ones that we already found.
No shit, Sherlock.
Hey, Sam, you told me to roll investigation, but you don't have an investigation
No, I said
stat.
roll whatever.
Oh. Alright.
What would you like to roll?
Would traversal work here?
Yeah, if you're looking for footprints.
This is gonna be Sam answers depending on what we say we rolled.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Traversal would be just footprints again, I feel like. But also, I rolled kind of shit, and if I take a -2, it goes from a decent roll to...
Would you like to do traversal then? Or
Yeah, I guess so. So
what'd you
that's
roll?
gonna be a... Holy fuck. That's gonna be a 12.
A 12? As you comb the beach, it makes it a little bit hard to tell whose footprints are whose, mostly because the 7 of you have also been walking around on this beach. But you can clearly identify where Gare and Valente followed another set of footprints into the woods. And you can see, the clump of footprints from everyone else, but you don't see any footprints other than that. So whoever got onto this ship, they did not walk on via the beach.
And this island that we're on isn't like... There's no, like, pathways or, like, aside from the area that, we've already looked at last night, there's no, like, pathways or, like, signs that anyone lives here.
No, it is way too small for that.
Ah, I see.
Like I said last session, standing on one end of the island, you can see the other end of the island. Like, it's very small.
Well, shit.
I'm curious about something. I'm just thinking about, like, I'm gonna look at... Warp is under weapons, right?
Warp? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can do faith magic or weaponry. I will allow either.
Okay, I'm going to try and roll weaponry, so I'll have a +1 modifier to that.
Okay. What are you looking for or trying to do?
I want to try and understand, like, how far the warp can actually go.
Uh-huh.
And
okay.
If really, like, based on the amount of power it takes, would a warp from this far, even if someone has really high magic, would it be enough to get them back to, like, Bellholla, which is at least potentially weeks journey from here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On foot.
Yeah, go for it.
If you if it's too much of an L, we can ask Trikey maybe.
Yeah, Trikey, what's your faith magic?
Sorry, my sister just handed me chicken nuggets, so I
Nice.
Oh,
muted for a
nice.
second.
No,
All
you
good.
apologize. That's just a win.
My
Yeah.
faith magic, I don't have proficiency, but my magic overall is pretty good, so I can give it a try.
Okay, I have a +1 modifier. Technically, I don't have it's not one of my proficiencies, but I could add a +1 modifier. What's your modifier on magic?
2.
Okay, so how about you roll, and then depending on how it goes, I could be like, well, weaponry. I was good with the
Alright,
berserk staff.
not natural 20.
Not natural 20.
Yay!
Damn, Edwin. All right. Edwin, as you look around the area and you do a little mental math in your head, you figure that a normal warp staff probably would not be able to get you all the way to Valhalla, but you definitely know that there are upgraded forms of warp staves that could get you pretty much anywhere. They're usually held by those who have a lot of money or those who make them themselves and are especially adept at magic. But given your vague knowledge about the financial status and magical status of those living in Valhalla, it seems that it would be perfectly reasonable that they would have a staff that could take them there.
Alright, I will tell the gang this. And mostly that, well, it could have gone somewhere nearby, but they definitely could have just gone straight back to Valhalla because they could totally get a warp staff that could do that.
Yeah.
All right, would you like to do anything else on this island?
What time of day is
Oh.
it?
It's, I'm gonna say midday. You still have time to travel for the day.
Sorry, you were gonna say something, Cheppy.
Yeah. So, where are we going now? We got the boat, or he's just, I don't know, pretending we didn't see anything here and just sort of moving on, or...
Go ahead.
I couldn't in good conscience say that we're going to move on with pretending like we didn't see anything, but we are 7 very different people with varying skill in combat, and we are weeks away from Valhalla as it is, and it is technically, as far as we know, going to be somewhere we have to head in order to get the Book of Naga. And yeah, I'm not stoked about leaving him there for any amount of time, but I don't think we could rescue him as we are now.
Oh, no, I have not said... Don't misunderstand me here. I am not saying that we go to Valhalla. Fuck no. It's a horrible idea.
Glad you understand that.
Yeah, no, more so, well, I don't know. Are we, the fact that they showed up here in the middle of the, where are we? Are we, no, we're not in the middle of the ocean.
You're in the middle of the
That's
sea.
not in character. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe they had some
to,
way to track Allus.
Yeah. Well,
He did have his robes with him, right?
Did we tell him where we were going? Did we tell him our plan for where we were? Did we mention that in his presence even?
No.
Okay.
I didn't tell him anything. I
And-
was very careful about it.
Octavia gives Edwin a pat on the shoulder. Good job.
I didn't speak to him if avoided, so...
Yeah, I mean, definitely talked to him. Didn't tell him where we're going though. Honestly, just kind of tried to scare the shit out of him so he wouldn't remember anything he heard. But I don't know. I mean, they sent the guy over to kidnap or kill the fair, and then, you know, that guy ended up stripped of all of his valuables on a boat to another continent. I feel like they're definitely gonna. If I were, I don't know, a
He's
cult
gonna
or
squeal.
government leader, I'd kind of want to know what the, you know, step 2 there was, which is us.
Yep.
Should we be worried here? I mean, yes, but like,
We're already hunting white beasts. It's very clear they have something that they want to do with those. And we're probably still going to go to shrines.
And well, never mind. Just basically what Octavia said. I'm pretty sure we were going to end up on their radar whether we wanted to or not. It's just a shame it happened this early rather than because we made a mistake.
mm-hmm.
Do you think Alice is going to tell them about us?
I
have little faith in his ability to endure torture.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he crept in while we were asleep, held someone at knife point, and 5 minutes later we had him pissing himself. Like, he's not exactly, you know,
Strong-willed.
resilient. Yeah.
As you guys are ruminating on what could possibly be happening to Alice at this very moment in unknown location here, Godfried is going to request Edwin's map. Edwin, you
Yes.
give it to him? All right.
Edwin will get his map out.
Godfried informs you that it's another day of travel to Silese, and then from Silese, there's a couple different places that would be safe to go. Generally, as a rule of thumb, the mountains divide what part of Silese is currently occupied by the Belhala situation. Not their army, but, they've got people from Belhala, from Granville, who live up there. And that would be the southern part of the Silesian Peninsula. And then the upper part is pretty much just not unified. It's like no man's land, basically, because nothing grows up there. It's cold all year round. No one really wants to live there. He points out that the capital of Silese, I have no clue what it's called. It might just be called Silese.
It's just called Silese.
It's just called
Yeah,
Silese.
I think it is.
The capital of Silese. Silese. Is within the Belhala sort of occupied territory, and I use occupied in the most casual term. But they do have a very big library there that might have more information, as well as, nobles from Belhala. They like to pop in there, so it might be worth investigating. Maybe you can talk to some people without them knowing who you are. But before you guys make any decisions as to where to go, he does mention that when he comes through Silese, he usually likes to check in because he lives in Silese. So he usually likes to check in at his home really quickly and then get back on his business. So he says, I'm going to go do that. You guys are welcome to come with me. Otherwise, I'll catch up with you wherever you end up.
How far out of the way is where you live?
He said it's not in Belhala territory, if that makes you feel better. It's just a few days.
I think we should stick together. I think that would be the safest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Trying to find my
since.
map.
And Val like looks at the set of footprints leading off into the forest that eventually just vanish. It's like, I mean, we just saw what happened last time one of us went, well, us, and he puts us in like quotes. One of us went out on our own.
Yeah. And, didn't you mention at one point that you were, like, wanted or a criminal technically or something?
Godfrey's gonna say, well, I would be a criminal if they knew I existed and knew what I was doing, but that's the magic of not telling anyone you're committing crimes and not getting caught.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good method, but I don't know. Weird.
Going.
We should I would definitely expect whoever government church is to start doing a bit more poking, maybe.
Well, then getting out of the way of their territory would be a good idea, at least for a few days.
To your
So
house.
let's go to your house.
All right.
Say, Val says, I will say, I do think perhaps doing some reconnaissance in Solis at some point is a good idea. However, I don't know how great all of us are at being inconspicuous.
At this, Amalthea, who's still wearing her jacket, puts her hood up over her face and like ties the front together so you can barely see like the little circle of the inside of her face.
Val
Oh,
is so endeared right now, but doesn't know how to tell her that doesn't do anything.
Hey, Amalthea, walk 10 feet.
She begins walking forward only to quickly hit water, which gets in her socks rather quickly. She makes a disgruntled noise before undoing her hoodie.
it's not about the hood. It's about the energy.
Fortunately, I'm afraid Archibald is correct. However, I am not suggesting any of us roll around in dirt.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Garrett's
I'm
gonna be
not-
like, I'm definitely not doing that.
I know you aren't.
So what's the attitude we have to take to be inconspicuous?
I just sort of look around. Peasant, maybe student, pointing at anyone. Peasant's probably a safer bet. You people know what a peasant looks like?
I got mistaken for a farmhand.
Really?
You were there.
Damn.
Octavia just like rearranges her cape where instead of it's like traveler's swords, then it now just like covers basically the entirety of her armor. And so it just shows her pants and her boots.
Mm.
Disguise. And then she does like jazz hands.
Ella looks directly at Archibald and goes, I was homeless and basically a thief from the ages of like, and he's like squinting like he's trying to remember because it was 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
He goes, 10 to 11 before I got taken in by the army to be their like errand boy.
Huh. So you get it.
I do, unfortunately.
Good.
I was
good.
I was gross, but anyway.
All children are gross at one point or another.
This is true.
Amalthea's gonna go, behind you.
Val's going
Amalthea,
to
you're in charge of
Val's
a
going to
bunch
look
of-
directly at Amalthea and go, until you've personally had to clean up a baby's vomit, I don't want to hear anything about children not being gross.
She's gonna
Okay
make
there,
a disgusted
everyone.
face.
Okay there, everyone. Half of us just spent an hour wading through Viscera. Let's not have this competition right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, kids, like, babies start out gross.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Y'all pile back into the boat. Amalthea forcibly takes control once more, and gets you off the island. The island slowly begins to fade from your vision into the fog. And as you sail, it's maybe about another day's journey by boat. So you guys are just gonna sail. Nothing else wild happens. You stop for camp on another island, but it's uneventful. Everything's just seems to be normal. No one's following you as far as you can tell. Everything is going well. As you guys get to port and get out of port, it's not very much of a port. It's more of just like a building with a dock attached. It seems like people when they come out of Luan, they usually don't go to Celise, or at least not this port. So it's pretty empty. You guys leave the boat and you start walking north. And excuse me, it's been maybe about 2 days now since you've were at the former merchant ship. And as you guys are walking, eventually you guys get to the topic of where you're headed next. And Godfried, just kind of, as you guys are walking, he's just gonna like turn to all of you and he's just gonna say, well, it's maybe 3 days away on foot from here, but I probably should warn you, I do not live alone. Well, I have dogs that I mentioned, obviously, but that doesn't count. I actually, when I'm not home, my mother usually lives in the house. She takes care of the place, kind of. But she'll be there if that's not too much trouble. There's still enough room for everyone, but if you guys would rather not, there is a village down the mountain that you guys can stay at.
Val looks interested and goes, How's your mother going to react to visitors?
He's just kind of gonna think for a second and then sigh a little bit and say, well, to be honest, her memory's kind of not really what it used to be, so she probably won't even recognize that there's visitors in the house.
Oh.
If you guys do want to stay, if she talks to you by a name that isn't yours or asks you to do anything, just know that she's not aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you continue to follow him even as you pass through the town? Or would anyone like to stay in the town?
Is there anything to do in the town before we
When I say
go?
town, I mean it's probably like 3 houses and a general store.
3 houses.
Whoa! Like from the game.
Whoa.
Like from the Fire Emblem. Yeah.
Wow, sick Fire Emblem
Sick
reference.
Fire Emblem reference, bro.
he said it's 3 days away, right?
Yeah. So you guys are traveling for 3 days.
What time of day is it?
Currently,
now?
It's probably I'm gonna say it's maybe 3 p.m. at this point. You guys have reached the town in the area known as the Silesian Basin. It's the dip between the mountain range and the cliff coasts. There's still snow on the ground here despite the fact that it's summer. There is a thin layer of snow on the ground here. Doesn't seem to be the kind of place that gets warm in the summer. But yeah, this little tiny town is basically just a store, 3 houses perhaps. The road is made of dirt and there's like a bunch of paths coming out of the center of this little quadrant to where people live further up the mountain.
There is no inn or anything.
One of the houses is probably the inn. They don't get a lot of visitors in this town, so there's probably like a bedroom at a house you guys can rent for the night.
Do we want to stay here instead of foraging out in the middle of the afternoon? and then having to set up camp, or do we want to just, I don't know, you live here, you know, do we just walk into the woods now, or what?
You guys have been traveling that 3 days by now. So you guys are at the end of your journey. So
Okay.
the place
Wait,
Godfried has referred to is probably only like an hour away.
Okay. I'm
Oh,
fine with. Actually, I would say it's cold right now. Octavia doesn't have sleeves.
Oh no.
oh,
Does Octavia feel the cold? Sam.
I'm gonna say yes, you do. It's not like below freezing, but it's definitely not like summer. Like the snow on the ground is kind of melting a little bit, but it's maybe in the low 40s.
Is Gare reacting at all to the cold?
Gare's unfazed.
Damn it.
The only sign that he's cold is that he's like maybe like turtled his neck a little bit into the fluff of his coat.
the fur coat he's got on already.
It's because in his old design he had a bare arm. So
He rolled his sleeve down before you guys reached Luan the first time.
Oh yeah, he did.
He didn't need to be walking around with suspiciously holy friend
Yeah.
on his left forearm.
Octavia's gonna probably go to Godfrey. How cold is it at your house this time of year?
He's gonna look at you and say, well, usually we put a fire on, so normal? You don't have to sleep outside.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, yeah, I'll wait until it becomes necessary to get new clothes. The cape, her cloak / cape probably shields her from like wind chill. So
nice, excellent. All right, so are you guys passing through town, or do you want to stop at any of these places?
Stop at the
general
store.
Let's see what's at the general store.
Yeah, I want to go to the general store.
All right, you enter the general store. It is a very small building, but it does seem to have like a fully stocked like shelves and such. Clearly, someone out here grows food because there is fresh food. The normal sorts of items. You don't see any sort of absolutely batshit supply. But you also see they've got like medicine and they've got bandages and they've got like vulneraries. But yeah, they don't sell weapons here. They don't sell anything crazy. Just sort of things you would need if you exist.
Coats, perhaps.
What?
Are there any coats?
Yeah, there's probably like a small rack of clothing in the corner, which has like a coat maybe on it.
Does it look fashionable?
I'm gonna say it looks functional.
Welcome to...
Sorry, go ahead.
Archibald leans into Octavia's ear so the proprietor can't hear, and gestures over in the direction of the clothes like I said. Peasant style.
She tries on the coat to see does it fit.
It's a little bit big on you, but it is warm and it does fit. It's like a grayish color. It's very like normal.
Yeah.
No embellishments, nothing.
Yeah.
Probably made of wool.
Okay. Yeah. She like twitches a little like it's itchy.
Yeah, you get used to it.
And okay, she goes up and see how much is the coat.
The lady at the countertop who was since like reading a book with her feet up on the table because she doesn't get a lot of customers. She looks at the coat and she looks at you and she says, well, we haven't sold that thing in years, so 30 gold.
There. And Octavia pays the 30 gold and has a coat.
Excellent. Octavia warm moments.
Octavia
nice.
warm moments, we love to see it.
You can add that to your non-combat inventory, I guess. Like gray wool coat.
Where is my non-combat inventory? Is it just
in
like
your notes? Or you can keep it somewhere else.
Okay.
Since it's stuff that's not like for combat, you don't need to put it in your actual inventory. I need to use the bathroom because I planned my day very poorly. And I drank a
Oh.
giant thing of water right before sitting down. So
Is it
can I
5-minute
take like
break
a
time?
2-minute break?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Hey, does everyone know what the piss robe is?
What?
What?
Have you seen the piss robe post?
No.
No.
Wow.
I feel like I can't decide whether because of our fun little adventure with being with my boy Godfried, if we should put Godfried or Archibald in this.
The piss roll. I feel like this is an Aldous thing. We should give it to Aldous when we
God,
find him.
all this in the robe of pissing.
Wow. That's an invention. Oh no.
I'm kind of obsessed with how bad it is. Like, it definitely works for what it is, but also it's not good.
It says suction cups. Why is there suction cups?
Why do you think?
It's so it sticks to the wall, so that
Right.
you know.
I love this.
Oh, yeah.
Are we still on a Twitch stream? Is there
Yep,
just going to be
we
someone in
are.
the future
Yeah.
who gets to see this? That gets to hear like.
Here.
I'm back. Sorry
Welcome
about that.
back.
Hello.
Hello. Did anyone else get up?
I don't think.
You missed us talking about a piss robe with no
What?
context live on Twitch
The what?
for a minute.
Oh, the
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, the piss warlock.
Yes.
I can't.
We should draw Alice in this challenge.
Alice in the piss robe and Gare in the Among Us dress.
Yep. Yep.
Boys' night. Oh my god.
Boys' night.
Yes, I should. All right, hold on. Let me take a sip of water and then. Yum, tastes like liquid. All right. All right, Octavia, you've successfully purchased your coat. Are you guys
Grand.
want to do anything else in this little store, or you good?
Is there anything else in this store?
I mean, there's food. There's like minor medical supplies. More clothes on the rack if you desire a change in attire.
Anything, I don't know, weird or exotic amongst the food? Probably not. It's
Definitely
probably
not.
just no.
This is
Cabbage or
the
whatever.
epitome of a small town store. They have only what their residents need.
What the hell? I'll buy like some bread and maybe like an apple or something.
Okay. The lady at the counter just says like, okay, 4 gold.
Sure. And I give it to her.
All right, you're now the proud owner of some bread and an apple.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
All right.
Everyone's just staring at all this stuff. Like, you like walk into a store and you just kind of like do a lap around the store to look at everything and then you leave.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I mean,
Classic
I always
Edwin.
guilt myself into getting at least one thing.
Oh no.
Oh,
Rams.
Edwin doesn't have that self-awareness.
Ding. I'm sure he
Good
saves a
for
lot of
you
money that way.
guys. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this is only in like grocery stores. Actually, no, I don't do this at convenience stores when I need to use the bathroom on trips. I don't do it.
Nice. All right, 1 second. I have to sneeze. It's gonna take me a second.
look!
No, I
Look
said
at
I
bright
had
light.
to sneeze. No, I can't.
Oh,
Looking at bright lights is supposed to help you sneeze.
There are no bright lights in my room right now.
That sucks.
I'm in the dark. As I am for every session, because I like to DM like a vampire. Alright.
Are you wearing your cape?
Apparently
I am
looking at
wearing
this
my
document
cape!
sneeze.
Excellent.
Wait.
No, I'm wearing a blanket cape. Not my
Oh.
actual cape.
Mhm.
But yes, so you guys, you make your purchases, you leave, and I assume you follow Godfried the rest of the way?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. You walk for maybe an hour more. It's less like flatland now and more like uphill, but not so uphill that you feel like you're gonna die. But you can see the mountain range in the distance is like slowly getting closer, and this would be the mountain range that divides the Granville part of the peninsula from the independent part of the peninsula. They are called the Thove Mountains, named for the city that used to exist at the very top of the continent, which is reportedly not there anymore due to question mark.
Awkward.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, but the mountains kept their name, so they're still here. As you walk along, it slowly does begin to start snowing again. The sun is starting to go down. It's like 4 p.m. now. And because you're so far north, sun sets earlier up here. One second, sorry, I'm just looking for a tab. And as you walk, you pass a couple like cabins that are deep in the woods. So clearly, this is, I'm not gonna say a town, a living place, an environment for people who really like their privacy. You don't really see anyone on this dirt path that you're on, aside from yourselves and a couple wild animals. Maybe a deer gets spooked as it runs across your path. But soon enough, you take one of these smaller dirt paths off this main road, and you wander into the woods. And soon enough, hold on, I have an image. Soon enough, you come across a house. It is a very simple, like, very standard wooden house, nothing fancy. It's, like, not particularly large. It doesn't seem to have any neighbors as far as you can see. This is very much, like, in the middle of nowhere. But Gottfried is going to lead you up the path to this house as he rummages in his pockets for what you can assume are keys. And
Did you always live here?
he's gonna say, most of my life, last 20 years or so.
Val, or not Val, what am I talking? For some reason I was like, I have to say that Val's doing something. When I was going to ask Sam something, me, Dwyer, hey Sam, did you get this picture from like a horror movie?
It looks
Yeah.
like The Shack.
Okay, I got it from Google Images, and I looked up, like, Cabin in the Woods, and then I got a bunch of horror movie stills, because that's a horror movie. Then I looked up Cabin in the Woods Winter, and then they were all, like, these really nice, like, modern, like, well-lit, like, flashy rich people cottages, and I was like, okay, that's not the vibe. So I scrolled down to Google Images page 2, and then I found this image.
At least it has nice trees.
Yeah, this does look kind of like this does look like the shack of someone who, like, I don't know, slits lizard throats for a living.
Well, I mean, you get what you pay
Yeah.
for.
Correct.
You're not wrong. But yeah, Gottfried is going to lead you up the path to this house. And as he begins to lead you up the path to the house, you hear barking sounds. Lots of barking sounds, actually. And out from behind the house, come a whole bunch of dogs.
Oh my
God.
3 of them, to be exact. They are very excited that people are here, and they run up to you, and they start just, like, sniffing and barking.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 of them. There's a black one, a brown one, and a yellow one. They seem to all be, like, Labradors or something similar, whatever the Jugdral equivalent is.
Garlic's unsettled, not like upset or like spooked or anything, because he's a warhorse, and excited puppies would have to be much more threatening to scare a warhorse. But like he clearly, like, he's like make it. You know how like horses will like shuffle, like they'll like kind of like prance in place when they're feeling antsy.
Mm-hmm.
That's him right now. He doesn't know. He's like, oh god, there's animals. There's other creatures. Hello.
Dios mío. But yes.
Val, Val's probably seen a dog. Val's 50. I can't say Val's never seen a dog.
Val has never seen a dog.
That would be insane. I don't think he's seen a dog in a while, though. So, like, also, I think he's definitely more of a cat person. So she's, like, standing there like she has no idea what she's supposed to do.
No, you go.
Octavia, like, just holds out her hand, doesn't have her fingers out, just, like, as, like, a loose fist for the dogs to sniff.
The yellow dog gets extremely excited at the presentation of your fist and just kind of jumps up to lick you.
Oh, boy. Octavia's like, oh, okay, you're doing that. Okay. She doesn't push the dog off as long as it's not trying to bite her, but she's like, yep, okay. Yeah, Gottfried certainly hasn't trained you. Mm-hmm.
As you say, do you say that out loud?
Yes.
As you say that out loud, Gottfried has just been kind of like rummaging in his pocket. The dogs are like pretty much ignoring him. They don't care about him. But he's gonna look back, see that you're getting licked to death by one of the dogs. He's gonna look around at the surrounding woods for a minute and then whistle quite loudly. Can I get a perception check from Garlic?
What?
Should I give it the intern?
What?
What bonuses does Garlic have?
I'm gonna say Garlic is completely neutral.
Okay.
Garlic is a horse. Garlic has not been trained in anything except horse isms.
Excuse you, he's been trained in war.
Oh, excuse me.
Warhorse.
That's a 4. So
Oh,
Garlic
if Garlic kicks a dog, I'm really sorry.
Garlic does not kick a dog. The dogs are, thankfully, for the most part, it seems fast enough to avoid getting trampled. The black one, which is especially interested in Garlic, it is missing one of its feet, but it's still fast enough to hobble out of the way as Garlic is just like, what's happening down there? But after Gottfried whistles and then he looks into the woods for a minute, there's just like a quick second where he just doesn't move and he's looking, and then something very large and very dark comes out of the woods.
what?
Barking loudly. The three other dogs, they all of a sudden they just get very quiet. They make little like whimpering sounds as something very fast chases them back to the backyard.
Garlic spooks. I'm sorry. What the fuck is that? So luckily, Garlic has been taught not to like freak out when he gets spooked because again, he's a warhorse. So he's been trained that even when he's scared, he's supposed to act normal. But he's also been taught to run from danger. So he he doesn't do the whole thing where he like gets up on his hind legs and like starts just running.
Mm-hmm.
But he does almost start to run away before Val puts a hand on his reins and she starts like soothing him with like, horse soothing phrases. Hey, whoa, the horse. The horsisms. And then as Val like Garlic's still like pretty spooked, but he's settling. Val turns to Gottfried and goes, "What in Naga's name is that?"
He's just gonna look at you blankly and say, "That's my dog." Sorry, I only had time to train one of them, so she just manages the rest. I'm not home very often.
Can I roll animal handling?
Yeah, sure.
I
That would
would
be
also- I would
bestiary.
I would also like to do that.
Bestiary? What are you rolling exactly? Like, what are you rolling for?
You
What
want
the
to know
fuck is
what the
that?
fuck that is?
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Yeah,
Gottfried has Clifford, guys.
Huh. I also got a 10.
Well, it's definitely a very fast dog and a very big dog, but it's not so large that it's like unrealistic. Like it's just to you it just seems like very fast, loud, threatening looking breed of dog.
Samantha, I'm gonna ask you the obvious Archibald question here. Specifically, it's not just what is that, more so did he just get like a fucking monster dog or something? Did he just get like a monster and raise that like a dog? Is that what this guy did?
You rolled a 10, King. I can't give you that kind of information.
That means yes, moving on.
Not explicitly. But you hear the dogs yapping in the backyard again. Clearly they're all riled up. You hear the clink of a fence, perhaps closing, and then the black beast from before, and I do mean in the colloquial sense, not the literal sense that means in this campaign. That would be a
Really?
fucking
Okay.
twist.
That would be a real twist.
No, the black dog comes back from around the house. This time it's just kind of trotting along, not threatening. Its ears are up. It seems to be interested in these new people, but it's not like running up to lick any of you.
Did that dog just open and close a gate?
The dog comes to stand next to Godfried, and it just kind of sits down. He absentmindedly like puts his hand on its head, and he just says, "Yeah, she's very smart."
What's her name?
Is that a dog?
Now that you're closer, you can see, yes, that is in fact a dog, and the dog does have art. Hold on. I drew a
Oh.
dog, guys.
I was
Oh,
going to
this
ask.
is
the
like-
dog that you were drawing.
I was drawing a dog. Yeah, there's the dog.
Oh,
it's a
is she
couple-
really?
that's a
Okay,
good
no, that's
girl.
puppy. That's puppy. Okay. I was like, I don't know what I was picturing, but I know there's quite a few very, very large dogs. And so in my head, I was like, oh my god, is it just like a Saint Bernard but floofy?
No, it's a big black fluffy dog with just like long ears and an unnaturally long tail.
Congratulations. Godfried is now Jon Snow.
I do not know who that is. I apologize.
It's
That's
from
fair.
it's from Game of Thrones.
Ah, I see.
I was trying to make jokes about how Gareth should be the one with dogs if he's based off of Solid Snake, but
Oh,
Can't get too close to Solid Snake.
but based on Octavia's, does she have a name?
The dog like yaps at you as if to answer on her own. But Godfried answers in her stead and he says, "Yeah, her name is Millicent. I didn't name her. My mother did, but she responds to it, so."
Hi, Millicent.
The dog barks again.
Yep.
Hi.
The dog looks at Archibald with a side eye, as if
Yes, I know,
unsure.
Yes, I know, I smell like lizard. It happens.
The dog does not seem to understand what you're saying and does not look away from you. Clearly you have not earned her trust yet.
Archibald files away a little mental note. Okay, so it's not actually like magic dog that we know of.
That
we
you
know of.
It doesn't speak.
Val is going to say, does she answer to Millie?
Godfried looks at you like completely like, what? And he's gonna say no, why would she?
Because it's a nice nickname, and sometimes you give animals nicknames.
He ponders this for a second and just says, I see. Well, no, she doesn't.
That's fair.
as far as I know. And then he looks down at her, and she looks up at him, and she's just kind of like blank stare. Whatever mental communication they're having, it seems to result in him just shrugging.
Great. Val is canonically okay at handling animals. I mean, this is what he's had 3 different horses in his life. His wife was a Pegasus Knight. So he's like, I mean, he's mostly dealt with horses and Pegasi, but he will, now that he can see that yes, this is a dog and not a beast designed to scare Garlic away with all of their stuff. Val is going to offer a hand in front of Millicent's face to see if she's comfortable and give it a sniff, and then if she seems fine with it, you will pat her once on the head, and then that's it.
After you offer your hand, it takes Millicent a second to like observe it. She's observing, she's thinking, you can see it in her eyes. But she gives it a little sniff.
And then she gets a little rub on the head, and then that's it. Because again, I did say Val is much more used to cats and horses. So he's like, yep, that's how you handle dog, correct?
In response to the petting, Millicent just blinks, she sneezes, and then she shakes herself off and stands again, just sort of maneuvering her way towards the door. Would you like to follow her?
Octavia will follow Millicent.
All right.
I was gonna ask if there's anywhere she can put Garlic that is not close to wherever the dogs sleep, because she's concerned Garlic will hurt them.
Godfrey directs you to a just wooden post outside the house that would be fine to tie a horse to.
Okay. She ties Garlic up, wraps him in the cloak because it's gonna get cold, and puts out his like, gets like a pile of dried hay or whatever, and gives it to him, and then she'll go inside.
All right. Before Octavia can follow Millicent inside, obviously Godfrey has to unlock the door, which he does. Millicent worms her way inside before the door is fully open, and she disappears somewhere into the house. Hold on, I need to pull up my little floor plan. All right. You guys enter. There is just like a small, extremely bare hallway area as soon as you enter, and you are immediately faced with like another door. Godfried, still having one hand on the front door, opens this door with the other. That's how short of a room this is. And directs you all inside. As you guys filter into this area, he closes the first door behind you, and then he says, I'm gonna let my mother know that there's people here. Just give me 1 second. You guys can sit in that room. And then he gestures forward to the room ahead. Do you guys follow?
Is Millicent going in there?
Millicent is already in there. She's on the couch.
Okay,
It seems to be like the sitting area of the house.
Pet Millicent a little bit.
As Godfrey disappears down the hall into another door, which he closes behind him, you guys make your way into this sitting area. Let me just quickly pull up my document here. Whereas Lethair's house was very clean and very put together in a way that was decidedly Lethair, Godfried's house is very the opposite in a way that is decidedly Godfried. There's a couple chairs just kind of scattered about as if sitting is an afterthought. The walls are pretty much wall to wall, like bookshelves on every corner of the room, except for the place where there is a fireplace in the corner, which is not currently lit. But there's like logs in it that show that it has been lit recently. There's
I
dog
would
fur on the floor.
Yeah. Yep.
There's like a discarded blanket on the floor that is clearly Millicent's property. Like this is her blanket because you can see just black fur all over it. And she's on the couch currently, but she's got like the end of the blanket in her mouth. Like visitors, they better not touch my stuff. She's just kind of wagging her tail and watching the rest of you.
Val looks so much like he wishes he had a broom right now. I would say
Octavia,
vacuum, but he doesn't know what that is. Oh my god, Val is that post about that dad that just wants a vacuum for Christmas?
Yes! That's Val!
Get Val a
Anyway.
Dyson.
Guys, if we have a holiday special, we need to get Val a Dyson.
Oh god, if we last that long.
Yeah, if we last that long. Octavia goes to start loading things up loading up the fireplace, just because it's like, well, we're gonna be in here. I want to be warm.
There is a stack of logs that look to be freshly chopped in the corner next to the fireplace. So it's easy to do so.
Okay, can she light it or should I wait?
No, you can light it. Does Octavia light the fire? Big important decision.
Octavia loads it up and then lights the fire and just like makes sure it catches and just like takes off her gauntlets / gloves and is like warming her fingers by the fire.
Archibald, what are you up to?
You specifically asked me that, huh?
No, well, I'm going through everyone, and Val and Octavia already talked.
Well, first thing is, this is Godfrey's house. Is there anything weird beyond just
You're gonna
the
have to be
organization
way
of the
more
room?
specific.
You know, like, are there sinister vials of blood on shelves, or like weird diagrams?
Do you want to make
like
a perception check?
I guess I do.
I'm not gonna just give you info.
Oh, okay, that's not horrible. That's 17 minus 2, 15. 15.
So, what are you looking at specifically? The shelves?
Basically anything that looks like part of looking for anything that's part of Godfrey's like work, or like, does he have like workstation or weird supplies or shit like hanging around, or like on a desk somewhere?
There is no desk in this room. There isn't even a table as far as you can see. But there are lots of bookshelves, and from a quick glance, you can see that most of them are just normal books, predominantly nonfiction. A lot of them are like medical texts and like magic related books, not tomes, but like magic theory, I guess. You do find a couple copies of Arclight on the shelf that are undamaged so far. But other than that, you don't find any signs of just like blood or weird shit.
Anything old, or any of the books about like weird lizard blood stuff, or is that
as you pull a few of them down, there's a lot of books in this room. But as you pull a few of them down, you are surprised to find that they are completely and utterly mundane. Most of them are very like basic stuff, like you find an encyclopedia, dictionary, that kind
and
of
this
thing.
is where to apply to leeches.
Yeah, sure. Maybe there's a book on leeches. That one has not been opened recently, thankfully. As for the rest of the room, in regards to things that are abnormal, you take a quick, just, wander around the perimeter. You stop by the fireplace for the moment, and it does occur to you that it's a little bit strange that there is a sword mounted on the wall over the fireplace.
Can I make a weapons check to see what this sword is?
Sure, go ahead.
As Val.
Ooh, that's good.
And to tee this up, Archibald will walk over and look up at the sword, and then just look back up at Val and point with a raised eyebrow.
Yeah, that's a 21.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Val knows the exact type of sword this is. It is a Zweihander. It seems to be of common make. It's not like it doesn't have like a jewel in the hilt or anything, but it's clearly been very, very well used and also very well taken care of. But there is a thin layer of dust over it, so it has not been, I guess, used in a while.
Val whips out a rag and dusts it.
Is
Yeah.
Can't
well,
resist.
way to leave a trace. You know, show that we've been poking around his
This-
stuff.
This is like the one thing Val can in fact clean in this entire house.
I
Not
would
a
say
while.
because Octavia's still underneath, as the Zweihander is taken down by
Yeah,
Val, she
so
sneezes like,
Get rid of Millicent.
No,
So
Val
this-
doesn't like take it down. Val is literally like just taking like a like dust rag and like running it down the entire blade. That's it. Like
So,
he's not.
just to establish, in my brain, this is a fucking hilarious scene because we've got 4 members of the party all just kind of like hanging out in the back, with the dog just sort of sitting on the couch, blanket in mouth, looking between us all, while Octavia's bent down, like working on the fire. Archibald is standing next to her, towering over her, and Val is sort of like reaching above us all to dust off this sword on the man. Like all 3 of us are just like crammed at the fireplace, being watched by the dog, and they're like, we just walked into this dude's house, and in the first 5 minutes, we're all just like crowding around the fireplace while the rest of our party watches.
Listen, it takes Val maybe, I mean, depending on how long it is, anywhere from like 5 to 20 seconds to dust this thing. This is not an adventure. This is I wiped it down.
Val couldn't resist.
Anyway,
And then the sword starts glowing with runes. Now what you gonna do?
for everyone that doesn't have the weapons items and skills sheet pulled up, a Zweihander is a 2-handed red sword that does 2d8 slashing. After combat, choose to move 10 feet in any direction. And also, it's worth 600 gold, but I don't think Gottfried would let us sell it.
So
He says it's
someone
his.
here.
But
was-
as you guys are doing things at the fireplace and cleaning items, Amalthea does start a tug of war match with the dog over the blanket in the background. As Gare watches on, just kind of despondent and lost.
Please let Godfrey walk in right now. Please let him walk in right now at this moment.
All right, well, your wish is my command.
Oh no.
Edwin might still want to do things. Did we do Edwin?
Edwin, what is Edwin up to?
Sorry.
He was petting the dog, but the dog is now distracted by a tug of war match. So
Okay,
he's just watching them stare at this sword. He has no idea if this sword is relevant or not.
Sorry, I said the gag. You looked like you were gonna run with it, and then I was like, wait, there's still one more player. I think. I got-
Sorry, I did not mean to forget about Edwin. I
No,
apologize.
you're good.
This is why I go in order when I ask people. When I don't, I forget someone. But yes, as Amalthea is losing her tug of war match with the dog, because the dog is, I'm gonna say, larger than her by a non-insignificant margin. She could
God.
probably get mauled by this thing if it really wanted to. But it does not seem like it's going to maul her, so it's having fun, she's having fun. But
Okay.
Godfried is going to walk in just as she lets go of the end of the blanket, and Millicent gives like a victory growl as she sits upright on the couch and like chomps down on the rest of the blanket like, mine, no one else touches. Godfried is going to walk back in and quietly close the door, and he's gonna say, well, she's sleeping right now, and she should be sleeping for a while, so we actually don't have to worry about her right now. But if I could get someone to help me, there's a bunch of cots in the basement that I can bring up for you guys to sleep on, because I know the couch is covered in, and then he just kind of gestures at the couch, which is in fact covered in ... dog hair.
Sure.
I'll help.
I'll help.
All right.
Val-
Oh.
I was about to offer to help as, I would say, the strongest person in the party. But
Actually,
if everyone...
I'm curious. What is Val's strength at the moment?
Strength is 15.
Okay, yeah, you're the strongest. I was about to say.
But Val doesn't want just like the entire, like everyone going down with his coffee. It's like, hey, can I have a little help? Sure. And then like 8 people run upstairs. It's, like,
Everyone
not,
go
Val
to
would,
the basement.
Val would feel very weird about that. So he sees Octavia and Archibald volunteer and then just kind of stands there and like just retucks his dust rag into his pocket and goes
I
like...
would, as soon as Octavia gets up from making the fire, she leans in to say to Val, like, you could dust while we're downstairs.
Tantalizing.
Val looks very tempted right now.
Archibald just immediately volunteered because he wants to see what's in this fucker's basement.
No, that tracks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Archibald in
what's
basements.
this dude's?
Matchmate.
Yeah.
How strong is Archibald?
Because of that battle seal I got off the ship last time, I'm now at a solid 11. It's not
Nice.
it's not
Pretty good.
absolute trash. Yeah.
I was like, because I feel like I'm not sure who has the worst strength in the party and what that,
Edwin.
but whoever does, yeah, I assume.
It's Edwin.
But
It's
It was-
I'm
one.
sorry.
I was like,
I
that's
probably-
probably Edwin.
I
If
probably
Edwin went
was-
down and picked up a cot, I think it'd be really sad if he like fell down the stairs trying to
Edwin
bring it up.
dies.
Oh no.
Edwin gets a
Gibby dies!
concussion.
Oh my
Boy.
god! And it's Edwin until the Gibby dies.
What? That was
You
not.
know the Gibby dies video? It's Edwin though.
It dies, but Gibby.
Anyway,
Edwin
What?
cracks a rib.
that video is super effed. That video is super
Chevy,
fucked
look
when
up
you
Gibby
realize-
dies on YouTube.
Oh my god.
I think I'm familiar. That one was more just processing the conversation.
That video is super fucked up when you learn that the stunt actor like broke a lot of his ribs doing that stunt because it wasn't
Yeah.
safe.
Oh.
Mhm.
And they still
Anyway.
used it.
Yep, they used that take.
Yeah.
God.
I mean,
Anyway.
the man broke his ribs for it. At least honor his sacrifice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So who's doing what? We got distracted. Octavia,
Yeah,
Archibald.
Yes.
All
Yep.
right. The rest of you are welcome to stay in this room. Or don't.
think,
like.
I think Evan like looks at Val, who is like clearly like wants to clean this room, and is like, "Do you want help like cleaning in here?"
How experienced are you at dealing with cleaning?
I mean, I can clean up. I just don't have a broom.
No. If only. Val. Here's the thing: is Val doesn't have his entire like cleaning supplies. He mostly has laundry supplies because
Yeah.
he's not. Like, I'm not having the man bring around like a tub of bleach. That's insane.
Edwin's probably just like brushing dog hair off the couch.
Val gives him a look where like it's like clear that she isn't gonna stop him, but like in her eyes you can see like how much she knows that that's a futile quest.
The futility of man.
Yeah.
He's helping.
Val is going to say, I will wait for Godfrey to return, and then I will ask him if he has cleaning supplies, and if he doesn't, I will destroy him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gonna kill a man in his own home, make it look like an accident. Okay. Those of you who are going with Godfried, he is going to lead the way back out into that little tiny hallway by the front door. He is going to make a left, to a room that is unlit. He does not bother lighting it. He just walks straight forward through it. You hear a doorknob click before you have the chance to open it, and then you see the kitchen has a light on, and in the shadow of it, Millicent has somehow made her way over there and opened the door from the other side.
I just stand. Archibald stands in the door frame for a second, next to Godfrey and Octavia, and just after staring for a second, turns to us. Is that dog magic?
No, she's just very smart.
Holy shit!
Millicent barks at you. She still doesn't like you.
You hate me, but I think you're fucking impressive. Holy shit!
She's gonna turn around then, and you can see that this now lit room is a kitchen area. It's a very, very small kitchen area. It's mostly like not stairs. So you know how a lot of houses have like cellar doors on the outside that are slightly slanted? They're like built into the side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a set of those doors in this room, and they take up I'm not gonna say a majority, but a significant portion of the room. Millicent walks up to the doors. They are locked with like a deadbolt, just like a simple deadbolt. And on that deadbolt, there's a rope attached. So she's gonna take the rope in her mouth and just kind of like pull it so that it unlocks, and then tug it so that the door opens. And you can see that there are stairs leading downwards.
I have seen people worse at opening doors than this dog. That's Archibald saying that.
Octavia says same.
Millicent barks at you. Gottfried says nothing. He just walks downwards. He does grab a lantern that's like sitting on the floor next to the door though, and he lights it with a match from his pocket. And you can see that this area, the staircase is extremely steep, and very like cramped width-wise.
How did you get cots down here in the first place?
He's gonna look up at you from where he kind of stands in the blackness, and he's just gonna say, well, I carried them, obviously.
Just follow the man into the Batcave.
You guys follow him downstairs, and it's clear that this is like a room of some sort, but the light he's holding is not bright enough to illuminate enough of it to tell what is down here. But he loops around the stairs, following the wall, and then opens another door, which leads to further into the basement. He holds the light up in this room, and it illuminates a lot more of the floor. This room seems to be a lot more chaotic than the room before it. You can see boxes and crates of stuff. This is clearly some sort of storage area.
I have a question about this from the way you're describing it. This may just be me getting the wrong impression from like the house photo we've got, but is this basement like significantly bigger? Like you're talking about him, we went downstairs from the kitchen and then now he's opening it. Is this basement inside? Does it feel like it's bigger than the house above? Does it feel like it?
No, it does not. I am going to show you a floor plan once we get there.
Okay.
Not yet. But it is.
I wasn't
you
sure.
would guess it is at maximum the size of the foundation of the house, which would make sense.
Okay. I was wondering if this was like of course he has catacombs under his house.
No, this is there was like a room at the bottom of the stairs, and now there's another room that leads to the rest of the basement.
Well, if anyone did, it would be Godfrey.
Yeah.
He raises. Oh no, you go ahead. You go first.
Well, I think he's gonna illuminate. If he's gonna illuminate the space, then that's fine. We can continue.
He does not light any more lanterns, but he does put the lantern that he's holding on some sort of like raised table or something in the center of the room. And then he looks around for a little bit. He sort of like moves maybe a tarp or two, and then he goes, there we go. And then he pulls out like the end of what is clearly a like wooden cot. And he says, there should be a couple back here, probably enough for everyone. Someone might have to take the couch or the floor, though.
Probably the floor if Millicent has anything to say about it.
Godfrey's gonna like laugh a little bit and says, Millicent has her own bed. I can get the couch cleaned up.
Oh, you have a broom down here?
He's going to drop the end of the cot and just kind of look around, squinting in the darkness before marching across the room and pulling out what seems to be the most weather-beaten broom you've ever seen. It looks like it might be as old as he is.
Great. And Octavia is somewhat regretting she didn't have her glove. She took off her gloves because she doesn't want to get splinters. But c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. All right. So Godfrey is going to pull out the cots. There are, let's see, how many of you are there?
3.
I'm gonna say there's like, no, in total, dipshit.
Oh.
7, but Godfrey probably has his own room.
Yeah. So there's,
Look,
I'm gonna say there's like 5. There's 5 cots maybe. So one person will have to sleep on either the floor or the couch. But he hands them out to you and Octavia. They're not particularly heavy. They seem to be very like lightweight, perhaps designed to be moved. But they are like, they're cots, so they're long and they're hard to maneuver if you're holding 5 of them. So
Yeah.
he hands each of you like 1 or 2. And then he grabs the lantern again from the table in the center of the room. He says, well, we could probably get these set up upstairs, and then I think I have to do something. And then he turns around and he walks away.
Any ideas of what the something is? This is Octavia talking to Archibald, not to Godfrey.
Oh, I certainly have an idea. I don't know what it is, but
Wait.
most likely person to sneak out in the middle of the night, do something weird with. I don't know.
This is his house.
Yeah. And he's now got 6 visitors in it. Private home's not exactly private at the moment for whatever he does in his whatever he sneaks off to do.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. At least he has enough room for all of us.
Yeah. Frankly, the fact that he has a living parent and also several normal dogs, at least, makes me feel like he's, a bit less likely to murder me in my sleep.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. I mean, wait, have you been afraid of him?
The man cuts out lizards' necks for a living.
I mean, yeah,
I
he
feel
does
like
that.
I feel like of all my fears, this is one of the more semi-rational ones. Not that he's going to kill me necessarily, though he could. More normal people don't have blood collections. Just,
Yeah, that's true.
that's something that someone with ambitions does.
You guys
And
are currently
Octavia
standing in the dark right now, by the way.
Yeah, she's like, maybe we can bring it up later. Let's go. Also, I don't want to get splinters in my armpit, and I'm holding the broom underneath my arm. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, sure.
As you guys start to walk again, Godfrey once again appears in the doorway with the lantern and say, "Are you guys okay?"
Yeah, it's just hard to maneuver with carrying 2 and a broom.
He's just gonna like squint at you a little bit as if thinking, perhaps suspiciously, before turning around and saying, well, upstairs, I guess. We have no reason to be down here any longer than we have to be.
Yeah.
Is this just storage? Octavia's still walking as she says this.
He's gonna say, yeah, that room back there is storage. There's another storage room upstairs. The floor is mostly clear, so we can set up a couple of the cots in there.
Sounds good.
Alright. Hey,
Alright.
can I ask, not to pester you with questions or anything, but can I ask you a question?
Are you talking to Godfrey?
Yes.
Yes, you may.
I saw Val was checking out that sword on the mantelpiece earlier before we came down. Is that thing like, I don't know, were you a sword person, or is that like...
He's
At the term sword person, Octavia does snort at the term, like...
yes, the professional term, sword person. But
Yeah.
Godfrey's gonna like snort a little bit at that and say, "Gods no, I've picked up a sword maybe twice in my entire life. That was my mother's sword back when she was a gladiator back at the Luan Arena.
Oh,
Oh,
There was an arena in Luan?
Well, there used to be. There aren't too many customers there anymore, but yeah."
your mother was a gladiator?
He shrugs at
Okay.
that and say, "Yeah, for a while."
My god, your family's done everything.
He's just gonna like look at you like he doesn't entirely understand what you're saying. Like, huh?
Gladiatorial combat, monster slaying, weird alchemy, metal leg. Like, you've basically covered half the life paths in the world between the two of you.
He's gonna like shrug a little bit and say, "Maybe you just haven't done enough with your life then."
That is unfortunately not true. I've done far more than I wish I ever had in my life.
Hmm.
That's
Oh,
not this
no.
isn't an insult. Don't take this as an insult. It's impressive. People don't live that long, relatively.
He says, I like to keep busy. There's a lot to do and very little time to do it, so. As you said, people don't live very long.
Oh yeah.
As you guys maneuver to the top of the stairs, Millicent is sitting dutifully at the top. She scoots aside to let you all pass. As you exit the basement, she's going to paw close the door and relock it with the deadbolt.
how can she relock it?
It's got a long rope attached to it, which she drags left or right to lock or unlock it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Good-
that's just like
good for her.
literally insane.
very talented.
Love this dog.
Boopy.
Get a load of that dog.
But
I turn around as we're like on our way out of the room and whisper to Millicent, if you like turn into a person at some point while we're here, I would be actually really not shocked.
Millicent's gonna cock her head at you, like ears up, just curious but ununderstanding. She does not speak complex human sentences. She probably knows sit and go and open, but not "Are you a human? Answer me."
This isn't conspiracy. He's just saying to the dog, to be clear, that if it like, of all the things to happen here, if the dog turned out to be some sort of magical creature in disguise, he'd be like, on the things to be shocked about, he'd be possibly least shocked about that occurring in this house.
Millicent was the secret other dragon after all this time. It was her.
When they were handing out the dragon stones, they didn't say your other form had to be a person.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Imagine you just turned into like a bug.
Oh no.
You go to swat a fly and you like slap, like crush it, and then it turns into like a 20-foot dragon just under your hand. Like, who the fuck?
Hello? No, but yeah, Millicent does not seem to understand what you're saying. She just kind of like blinks at you. She's got big old eyes, and she's just staring at you. And she blinks at you, and she's maybe makes like a boof sound under her breath.
Just nod and good girl, and turn and continue walking.
She's going to follow you out. She's probably following Godfrey, but you're in her way, so she's following you.
Yeah, I do that.
The group is going to reconvene in the living room area. The cots are placed against the wall, and Godfried says, you can set these up pretty much wherever you want in the house, aside from any locked doors that you find, or hallways where people might trip over you. Or the bathroom, probably. That would probably be a bad call.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gives
Val-
you guys free reign over the sitting situation because he has to go run an errand very quickly. Apparently since his mother is incapable of taking care of herself, the neighbor comes over a couple times a week to just look after things and make sure everything's all right, and she'd left her scarf here. So he's gonna go run up the road and he's gonna return that. It should only take him maybe 2 hours. It's a proportionally
Only 2
short,
hours?
it's a proportionally short walk for this neck of the woods. So there and back. He doesn't expect to be long, but he just says, I'm going up the trail. I gotta go take the scarf back, and let her know that I'm home so that she doesn't have to stop by today. You guys can make yourselves at home. Just, as I said, don't open any locked doors. Don't eat anything that's unlabeled. Don't eat anything in the medicine cabinet at all, obviously.
Don't
If it
drink
looks
any
dangerous,
li-
don't touch it.
Don't drink any lizard blood.
Especially don't do that.
Before you go,
Yeah?
where are the cleaning supplies?
I got it covered, Val, and Octavia weekly raises the horrible, horrible broom. It's
Val
almost
looks at the-
sarcastic.
Val looks at the broom and something he seems disappointed but not surprised, and then he turns back and he goes, where are the do you have any other cleaning supplies?
Godfrey's gonna look at the broom and he's gonna look at Val and he's gonna say, I can take care of it when I get back. You don't have to.
No. I don't trust that. You have other cleaning supplies.
Guilted into telling you via the janitor's force of will, he is going to tell you that there are cleaning supplies in the cupboard in the bathroom. But again, he says you don't have to do it. He'll do it when he gets back. He's sorry for the mess. Obviously, he hasn't been home in a couple months, so he never really knows what he's gonna come home to.
Val cracks her knuckles and goes, don't worry. I know what to do. And yeah, for the next foreseeable future, Val is going to clean all of the house that he has access to.
Oh my god. Okay.
In the back of the room during this conversation, Archibald rolls his eyes and thinks, doesn't say, thinks, gods, I grew up in a castle and somehow their standards are higher than mine. Said it all.
That's
Listen.
a self-own, Archibald.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
Yeah,
self-own.
Archibald taking the L.
He considers both readings of that statement, both the self-reflection and these fucking idiots angles.
It's not like if Godfrey was like, yeah, I don't have any cleaning supplies, so Val would say that he's a moron, but
Val would
it's
beat
not
him
that
to death.
Val would verbally assault him and then be fine with it. Val has slept on the floor in dirt and Val has done exactly what Archibald has done before. It's not that Val can't. It's that Val's entire job is to clean up after people, and he's done that for 20 years. So he sees stuff and he instinctually just needs to clean it because then he's done a good job. And he's I did my work. I cared for people. Look, I did it.
Oh,
Val.
It's less about I can't stand sleeping on something dirty, and more I know how to do specific tasks, and this is one of them, so I will do it.
King.
Yes. All good points. Archibald's a bastard, though.
Yeah, this is true.
Alright, so as Val is directed towards the location of possible cleaning supplies, Godfrey does mention that he's not sure how much is left because, well, he hasn't checked. And it's been a hot minute since he's been home, but he says they're in the bathroom, they're in the cupboard, so you should find them there. He reaches around the door frame to the small hallway and pulls a scarf off of what seems to be like a nail in the wall where you would hang a coat. It's like a purple scarf. It does not look like it belongs to a 30-something-year-old man. So he's gonna put that like in his I guess he doesn't have pockets. He's got like his case. He's not gonna take that with him. He's gonna leave the case like in the hallway leaning against the wall, and he's just gonna hold the scarf. But he says, "All right, I'll be back in 2 hours." And then as he's leaving, he's just gonna like pause for a second. He's gonna turn to everyone and says, if my mother wakes up before I get home and she gets confused, I left a note for her. But if she asks you to do anything or if she calls you any names you don't recognize, just wait for me to get back and I'll handle it."
Okay.
Wow, that's a Chekhov's gun if I've ever fucking heard one. Let's go.
I can't wait to meet Mom.
Gladiator mom.
Gladiator mom.
Gladiator Mom.
But yeah, with that, he's got the scarf, he's gonna grab like his cloak again, and he is going to leave. You can hear him like crunching the snow on the path. He doesn't lock the door behind him. He still has the key. And Millicent does not follow him. Millicent just kind of sits by the door wagging her tail as he leaves, and the minute he's like out of sight, the door is closed. She turns to all of you like, now I have you? Question mark?
Yes.
All right, so you are now alone in Godfried's house. Would you like to do anything about this, or would you like to simply wait for him to get back?
I will say Octavia is going to check the larder to see if there's anything in there to cook dinner.
I'll be
She's not
real,
gonna
I
try
don't know what a larder is.
Basically, yeah, like the ice box, like the.
You haven't seen
Pantry.
an icebox inside of the house. But as you wander back into the kitchen, here, I can share the floor plan now.
Oh yay!
I guess I can.
You
Yes.
guess.
Yeah. But
She's got it somewhere.
Here's the floor plan for the house.
Oh.
Alika. That's Godfrey's mom's name. Cool.
But yeah, I'll just leave this. I can drag this into the Google document. Hold on.
Question is, how much cleaning supplies does
Hold on.
Godfrey have?
You go into the bathroom and there is a cupboard in here. And as you open it, it seems to be less of a cleaning supplies cupboard and more of just things that exist in his house cupboard. There is a variety of stuff in here. You find some soap. You find a bunch of empty notebooks where the pages have been curled from like being in the same room as a bathtub. You find a hammer. You find a bunch of bottles of unlabeled something, which when you open them to see if they're cleaning supplies, do not smell like cleaning supplies. But
Fun!
at the bottom of the cabinet, you do find like a giant, I guess not a giant bucket, but like a bucket with like a rag and like some, not bleach, but like whatever the bleach equivalent is for fantasy land. Do they have bleach?
I mean, bleach is not that hard to make.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, there's some bleach, there's some like soap, there's a rag, there's like a horsehair brush or whatever.
Sorry, I just typed in how to make bleach because I know that it's not that hard. And the first result, like the autofill, was how to make bleach in Minecraft, and it made me lose my fucking mind.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Minecraft bleach.
What?
No,
I know it is.
There's an education edition of Minecraft where you can make bleach.
Edition. It's Minecraft Education Edition, I'm aware. It did just make me lose my mind, though. I was like, yes, how to make bleach in Minecraft.
How do you tame a horse in Minecraft? But yeah, you find a bucket of shit.
Val is stoked. And unfortunately for the dogs and lizard in the room, the house is going to smell kind of strong for a while. So he offers everyone like a clean piece of fabric to tie around their mouths and noses if they don't want to smell the caustic material for the next however long he's allowed to do this / it takes him. But yeah, he's gonna take this bucket, mix a little bit of bleach in some water, and he's going to start like sweeping and scrubbing the entire house.
All right. So what room are you in?
He's going to start in the entrance, and he'll avoid Aleka's room, and no, actually, he'll start in the kitchen so that hopefully the smell of bleach won't still be there when people start actually making food, or maybe it will be, but at the very least he'll be out of the way. But he'll start there and like move throughout the rest of the house, avoiding Aleka's room, or like he won't leave the main floor, but he will clean everything else.
Gotcha. All right. You start chipping away at the kitchen. You were not in there before, so I will just describe it to you quickly. As you're opening and closing cupboards, you find that there is a small like pantry shelf here. It's got, I guess, normal pantry foods like non-perishable foods. Someone obviously lives here year round. That being Aleka. I'll just refer to her by name now. Aleka lives here year round, so this is not an area of the house that is like untouched. But you find like plates in the cupboards, and you find like a bowl or two. Most of the utensils seem to have been lost, but you find a fork or two just like shoved in the back of a cupboard somewhere. There's a small table here. There's only 2 chairs. It's like up against the wall. Not enough room for all of you, but I'm sure you could eat food on the couch or whatever. There's like a sink, a counter, and that's pretty much it. It's basically like a corner kitchen, like if you've ever seen in like small apartments. All right, Val is in the kitchen, and then of course there's the basement door that's there. Edwin, what are you up to?
Everyone was probably trying to like be helpful cleaning, but ended up just getting out of Val's way.
Kitchen's not big enough for the 2 of you. All right.
Yeah.
So, are you still in the kitchen or are you somewhere else?
Probably went to hang out with everyone else, because I assume everyone else probably is also out of Val's way, and we're all like sitting in whatever room hasn't been gone through yet.
Yeah. Where's the stairs to Godfrey's room?
That is in the kitchen.
So the stairs to... Wait.
You passed through a room before you got to the storage room that was unlit.
Okay. Okay, I see. Oh.
So Godfrey's room is in the basement. Dude, let me... Stairs to main floor. Stairs to base... Yep!
In the basement. Octavia,
basement.
what are you up to?
I'm kind of... Even though Octavia, like, set up the fire, and I'm curious if she's, like, wants to still, like, go out just to look around the perimeter.
You are welcome to. The door is unlocked. At least the front doors. You don't know about the back door.
Okay. Then I think Octavia is gonna put on her coat again and her cape and her gloves and be like, I think I'm gonna take a walk.
All right.
I'm not gonna be far. I'll just want to walk around the perimeter and get an idea of the place.
As you leave the house, you find the front yard is much the same as it was when you found it. The snow, the like light snow layer that was over the whole, I guess Silesian Basin that you've been walking through the past few days, it's sort of refrozen. The temperature's dropped. It's really starting to get dark. If it's not like completely dark already, maybe it's like deep blue in the sky rather than black. But you can't see very far. The lights that are now on in the house illuminate a non-insignificant portion of the yard, so you can still see as long as you don't stray too far from the property. You can still see. The front yard, as I said, exactly how you left it, and as you wander around to the backyard, hold on, where's my little reference as to what's going on? The first thing you notice is that there is a fenced-in area that is full of dogs. 3 dogs specifically, the same 3 you assume that accosted you before. If they're not the same 3, then that's
a whole lot of dogs. Yeah.
But they seem to be the same 3, and they perk up as you pass by their little containment unit. They don't attempt to jump over the fence, but in this little like dog area, there's a wooden, not like a dog house, more just like a crate with a door in the front for like a dog to sleep in. And there's a bunch of grass, and there's just, like an old bowl of just like half-eaten food in the corner. So clearly these are like pets, if that wasn't already obvious.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like there's any way to get into the house from this little pen, so these guys probably stay outside. As you continue walking, you see that there is a wooden box attached to the side of the house. As you pass by and maybe curiously peek inside, you can see that this is an ice box. Probably kept outside due to the generally cold temperatures of the Silesian Peninsula. They don't really need to keep it inside. And it does have food in it. Most of it looks fresh, so you'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the last notable thing that's in the garden or in the area is, spoiler alert, I just said it. There's a small garden. It is also fenced in, much lower fence than the dog pen because hopefully the plants aren't trying to get out.
Yeah.
But a majority of the garden does seem to be like wilted a little bit, like it hasn't been super duper well taken care of. Or maybe it's just off season. You're not quite sure. You don't immediately know by looking at the plants what they are. But other than that, you can see that outside of the light of the windows, everything just kind of fades to black. There's a forest a little bit further out, and you can see like at the very edges of where like the light of sunset touches, you can see like the tiniest little cropping of like mountain rock just in the distance. Not in the distance, you can see the mountains in the distance, but in the distance of like where you could feasibly walk in under 5 minutes.
Huh.
Other than that, it seems that the backyard is relatively quiet and empty.
Octavia just like takes it in for a little bit, and I think she just looks around and double checks, like, is there any houses within like sight?
As you look into the woods, you don't see like the light of any other houses. It seems that this really is like an extremely like in solitude place. But as you walk around to the front yard, and you look sort of down the hilly part, you can see like, oh, there are lights in the distance. Like that's probably the town down there. Maybe a house here or there on the mountainside. Like you haven't completely abandoned humanity here.
It was only an hour walk, so I assumed, but
Yeah.
just wanted to check. I think If there's still light coming from the house into the front yard, Octavia makes a little snowman in the snow.
The snow is mostly ice at this point, and it kind of turns to
Darn.
slush in your hands, but you do manage to make a little snowman. He does look sad, and you don't have like a carrot or anything to use for the nose, but clearly someone tried to build something here.
There was an attempt.
There was an attempt.
Like, she finds like a little bit of like broken off stick to make like a little face on it and arms.
It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever crafted. Or at least that's what you tell yourself as you dust your hands off of sludge.
Yeah, that's why I was like, mission accomplished.
Congratulations, you done it.
Yep, she sure did. Then, if it's still gonna be a while before they cook dinner, she'll just note like, okay, icebox over there. We'll get something and maybe cook something when Godfrey comes back. And then she goes back inside.
All right. Archibald, what are you up to?
God, the temptation to respect the man who's probably most likely to kill me in the party versus to snoop around and all this stuff when left alone. I'm actually going to roll. I'm going to do the classic roll of D100 for this because I'm actually not sure which desire is stronger in Archibald right now. Hang on a minute. Oh. I probably should have really defined what I'm rolling for before I roll. Because I rolled a 13, but I just sort of rolled. I didn't actually think what this number means.
What do you think would be more fun to you?
Let's say
Let's do that.
Let's say highest is his desire. Higher, like over 50. Or 50 or more. Is
Okay.
he snoops around.
Snoops around.
Kelly.
Okay.
That is. Oh fuck, that's a 99. Looks like I'm fucking snooping around the house.
99% ability to disrespect this man's property and riches.
Oh god.
I mean, hey, it makes it more fun for me. I have a whole document here.
Like how much of Archibald that rolls? How much of Archibald is consumed by like basically nosiness, and the dice were like.
Yes.
He's like, there's like a little percent that has to like breathe, and the rest of it is okay.
All right, where are we starting, King?
That basement door was locked, right?
The basement door was locked by the dog. Yeah, it's just a deadbolt though.
I'm gonna go over to the kitchen, where I assume Val is cleaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I confirmed that like 5 times. My mic didn't pick it up at all.
I kind of figured. So walk over, look around the kitchen. You know, walk around eating an apple. You know, like an asshole. Just like
not helping.
No.
as if I'm just investigating the kitchen or whatever. You know, doing what Octavia's doing for real. And then I sort of look up at the stairs to
down at the stairs.
Godfrey. Well, where are the stairs to Godfrey's room?
Down. He lives in the basement.
We went through the Godfrey's room.
Right, of course. I look down the stairs. And I look over at Val. And deliberately back at the stairs. And sort of like biting my lip, look back at Val. It's like, this is the single most tempting door I have been in front of in years.
You already went through it, man!
Yeah, I know, but like, we passed through the dark. Archibald's gonna open the door, and pause, and turn around to Val real quick and say, I'm going to go and look and see if there's another cot lying around.
Val looks directly at him, and Val is wearing a rag over his mouth and nose, and is on the floor, but looks up at Archibald and goes, lying to
It does not. Go on.
Archie, lying to a man who has dealt with college students trying to get away with things for 20 years is a bad idea.
You misunderstand my purpose here. The point, it does not matter whether you believe me or not. All that matters in this instance is that you repeat that information I just gave to anyone else who asks.
No.
Okay.
But I am sorry about the ammonia smell. And then he goes back to cleaning.
Amalthea or Octavia would have fucking buddied up with me on this. Fucking, he mutters as he turns and walks down the stairs just to take another peek.
Are you taking the lantern with you, or are you going in the dark?
Is it going to be pitch dark?
It's a basement. At night.
No, sorry. No, is it going to be pitch dark in the room? Or Val is?
Oh no, the kitchen has its own light. It seems like the lantern.
I didn't want to just like.
The lantern next to the stairs is
take
unlit and seems to be explicitly for going downstairs.
Sure. I'm going to go look for another cot. Ahem. Ahem. Going down.
Alright, the stairs are just as steep as they were before. Before I start describing the room around you, or rather let you explore the room around you, because the lantern doesn't light up much, I have to pee again, because I got problems. So just give me another quick break.
This the 5-minute break now?
Yes, this is a 5-minute break.
I have to go to the bathroom too, actually, yeah. Let's do it.
Godspeed.
Bathroom break.
I am back.
Dang, that was a quick piss. Sorry, that was
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Oh, you're theorizing this is gonna be a slasher movie? Oh my.
It's just, you know how it's like the go-to of Cabin in the Woods and it looks like this?
Chekhov's sword.
And Chekhov's sword. Like, it wasn't a sword in the movie I saw last weekend, but it was a gun.
Well, I can't promise or deny anything, so.
Yep.
Alright, my cat lamp won't light up.
Oh no.
So sad.
Hello.
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 Howdy.
Alright, we all back?
Sounds like it.
Alright, let me take another sip, and then we'll...
Sippy, sippy.
Sippy sippy, stay hydrated. It's so important. Alright. Let me get rid of that 5-minute break thing. Alright, Archibald, where were we? You were just going down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
you arrive at the bottom of the stairs, and it's much the same vaguely lit, dark place that you saw before. It's the lantern does not do much. The bare minimum, actually. You can see that the floor beneath you is flat, and you can see that there are, in fact, items in this room. But other than that, not much.
When we passed through here the first time, was there anything approaching what looks like a work desk or a workstation or something like that?
As you raise your lantern a little higher, you can see that there is, in fact, furniture in this room. But most importantly, you see that there is a lantern on the wall that seems to be a little bit bigger. Beneath that lantern, which is burned out, it doesn't have a light in it right now. You can see that there is what looks like it might be some sort of desk. You're not entirely sure.
I'm going to make my way over there.
All right. As you make your way over that, your feet now treading on unknown ground. You are heading in the opposite direction as you did the first time. Knock into some stuff that's on the floor, but you don't trip over anything. The piece of furniture you come upon it does seem to be some sort of desk, but it's not like a normal writing desk. It seems to be more of a drafting desk, so it's got the horizontal, I guess, top of it is horizontal. And there are like papers on it. There's like stuff nailed to it. But the light from your lantern, you can't really get it close enough to see what any of it is.
Oh, can't get it close enough to actually read the words? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, No. Can I like roll to try and make out anything on it, or is it
You
straight
can
up
try,
no?
but again, there is a larger lantern above the desk that is currently not lit that you can light.
Oh, I thought you said it didn't have a. So
No, I just said
I
it
thought
didn't
you
have
meant
a light. It didn't have a light currently. You can light it.
I thought you meant there was like no oil or something.
No, sorry. Badly explained.
I will light it, I guess. Do I see any way of extinguishing it real quick? What?
Aside from blowing it out with your mouth, no. But also the room is dark, so,
Yeah, I will light it up.
Okay, it takes to the light, and now the room is perfectly visible. You can see pretty much everything in the room, at least the stuff that's, like, not in the super dark corners or behind other stuff. Yes, you can now make out the words on the paper on the desk, but that doesn't mean you know what they are or what they say. It seems
Does
to
this
be
fucker write in ciphers?
about that.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing you notice is that it's not like a writing paper, it's a very large sheet of paper, and it seems to be some sort of like measurements and such. You can assume it's a blueprint, but you're not sure for what. and as you squint to make out the words that are written on it, you don't automatically know what any of these words say. It seems to be a jumble of symbols and such, letters. Some of them are letters, some of them are just symbols. You're not quite sure what you're looking at.
Okay. And it's not the sort of thing that I assume a book of languages would help with.
You can try to make a roll.
Well, let me just, I guess, put it this way. There's two things I want to know, which I imagine would be probably two checks, I guess.
Okay.
One is the general, what the hell is he writing about on this paper? And number two, more broadly, knowing where Archibald comes from, he has this sneaking suspicion, that Gottfried might, you know, be trying to drink lizard blood and, you know, achieve immortality or godhood or something.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I roll for both of those? The first one probably just a general like.
The first one, I'm gonna have you make a tech roll because this does seem to be some sort of technical document. Or you can make a scholastic roll to directly make out the text without trying to do any context for it. And the second one, are you specifically applying the second one to this document? Like, or to other stuff in the room at large?
I guess it would be dependent on what I get out of the first roll.
Okay, make your first roll then.
I guess I'll go with technology. Scholastics is better, but fuck it, let's do technology roll. That's not good. That's a 6.
Between all the numbers and the measurements and the scribbling words you can't parse, you have no clue what he's made here at all.
Are there like symbols and charts and things, like diagrams, whatever?
On this desk, no.
No.
Just this piece of paper affixed to the desk surface. There is like a stick of charcoal also, but that's not a document.
Are there any other things around, like work
in the
stationy
room?
Things, artificing stations? I don't know.
Well, now that you turn around, you can see the rest of the room. It is well lit now. Aside from the desk that's now behind you, you can see that there is a second desk, a flat desk, on the perpendicular wall near the stairs. You must have passed it when you were going to the other room in the basement. It is stacked high with books. You can't read the titles from this distance, but you can also see that past the books leaning up against the wall are like some empty vials and such. Continuing around the room, there's a bed in the corner. It's clearly only big enough for one person. It's been half made and there's like a quilt on top of it. Other than that, nothing notable about it. There's like a nightstand next to it with another lantern. And there's something leaning against the side in between that you can't quite see, but it looks like it might just be a stick or something. There's a big steel trunk at the end of the bed, locked by the looks of it. And there's just like piles of books on the floor, mostly brushed into the corners where they won't be stepped on. And the final thing that's in the room is a wardrobe, which is just, it looks much the same as all the rest of the furniture in this house. It doesn't look very fancy. It's closed.
Oh, you fucker, you put a locked box in front of me. Oh, god damn it. Are there windows? There's windows here?
No, it's the basement.
No? Basements have windows sometimes.
No, it is settled well into the foundation. There are no windows.
Okay. Or Archibald. Oh, which to go to first? What are the books? Easiest
How
things.
can we violate this man's privacy?
I I just want to know if he's going to try and drink my blood. That's really it.
Why don't you ask him?
I might, depending on how this goes. But yes, what books lying on the ground? What are they about?
You pick one of them up. It seems to be a medical text of some sort, and you open it to a random page to find a rather detailed and graphic drawing of the inside of someone's stomach.
Fun.
Are there, looking through the books real quick, just glances, are there any like recurring themes across them aside from medicine? Like, is he shooting for anything in particular here, or is it just sort of
It seems
medicine?
mostly to be, they are definitely mostly medicine books. You find a few on like, engineering is the wrong word. They don't have that in medieval times, but just like building shit. You find a few instructional books on that, but most of the medical texts, you notice that they tend to focus on like non-magical healing first and foremost. Like it's more about like anatomy and what different salves and stuff do. There's very few books here about like here's how to use a healing stave, that kind of thing.
Is there anything pertaining perhaps to the lizards that he hunts for a living?
As you look around the room, you search for lizard-related books, and the only things you find are a couple books that are stacked on his desk, which seem to be like handwritten journals rather than bound books. The first one you open up, it does seem to also be encrypted in some way, but there is a really, really badly done drawing of a gray beast in it, so you can assume that the topic is relevant.
Graphic design is not Godfrey's passion.
No, it is not.
Okay, I don't think I have. Archibald doesn't think he has time to decipher anything because he's trying to not be around here when Godfrey gets back. But I guess the last quick thing to check, is there any weird religious or otherwise symbology just like around the room, like stuff where you see like a logo or like a coat of arms or something, you're like, that's fucking weird for a like
Do you want to make a
just a house?
perception check for that?
I guess I do. I hate this. That'll be a strong 7.
Just glancing around the room, you don't see any symbols anywhere aside from where there's been obvious like writing in symbols you don't understand. There's, patches on the quilt that are weird shapes, but that doesn't automatically strike you as being, oh, the end to some great conspiracy. It seems like someone did an oopsie while sewing.
All right. I'm not gonna go for the box because he's like, he might notice. I just rolled another D100 and it's not. Oh wait, shit.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Never mind. Yeah, fuck it. We're going to the box. I misread my own dice. I had.
Classic. All
That
right.
wasn't a 1. That was a 7. Uh-oh.
All right. So the
Yeah.
box at the end of the bed, immediately you sort of recognize it because it looks nearly identical to his carrying case, aside from the fact that it is far too big to like carry around. So it's clearly whoever made it, same maker, same design, same color, that sort of thing. It is closed with just like a simple latch. It's not like locked with a key.
I'll open it.
All right. Open it. There's a variety of what you can immediately discern to be random shit inside. It looks to be mostly like stuff made of wood or metal. You can't immediately identify anything that's in this crate.
What's this guy doing? Okay. Like, scraps of metal and wood, or like?
I'm gonna make you make another technology check if you want to figure out what this guy has in his weird
Oh,
box.
I'm not fond of those. I've only made one so far, and it was terrible. Oh,
Oop.
14.
14. As you like tentatively begin to pull things out of the crate, you notice that, you actually have seen stuff that looks like this before. In fact, it looks a little bit familiar, as in perhaps a less complete version of his magic scope. So there's just like various parts in this case, and as you dig towards the bottom, you find what seems to be a cast aside most of a wooden leg with the foot removed.
Noted. I'm going to really quick. I'm going to get to that. Nod to myself and real quick put everything back. Oh shit. What else is there? There's like the cupboard.
There
I don't
is
care about that.
a wardrobe in here. There's a nightstand, bed, 2 desks.
The journals are all encrypted. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish packing them all up, put everything neatly back in. Not neatly, as messy as it was before. Close, run over, blow out the lantern, and then make my way over the stairs, and then my own lantern that I'm carrying, and make my way back up in the dark.
Okay. You reach the top of the stairs without incident, only to find that Millicent is sitting at the top of the stairs looking at you inquisitively.
Hey, girl. Hi.
She's gonna
Hello.
growl at you. She growls at you. She's in your way, so you're not gonna be able to slip by her.
It's okay. Everything's okay. Don't worry. Ignore the cracking in my voice there a little bit. Everything's okay.
I'm gonna make you make a bestiary roll in order to
Fuck me. Okay.
absolve this situation without incident.
Oh, dropped it. Ho, that is a 16.
All right. She studies you for a hard second, sniffs at you, the edges of your cloak. She still clearly does not trust you, but after observing that you don't have anything in your hands, you don't seem to be stealing, you're not covered in blood or anything, she seems to take this as like, oh, okay, everything's probably fine. Also, she's a dog, so like she doesn't understand what encrypted messages are. So she doesn't even know those are down there. And then she's gonna wander off to bother Valente, who's, I assume, still in the kitchen.
I mean, depends on how long you say Archibald was down there, but probably.
Archibald, how long do you think you were down there?
Well, shit. The plan was not too long because I knew he just went on to the neighbors, wherever that was.
An hour away.
It was an hour away, right? So yeah, maybe if it's an hour round trip, he was down there for like.
No, it's an hour one way, 2 hours round trip.
That's what I thought I said. Fuck. I guess he was in there for an hour and a half tops, more like hour 15 probably.
Okay. If like, I think Val would probably have moved on to a different room by then. I don't know how long it takes to clean an entire room by yourself. It takes me to clean my very small apartment room like 20 minutes. But, So I'll say Val's probably on like the second room by now.
Alright, you're in the storage room. This room has been yet unseen by you, so I will describe it. This room, now that you've lit all the candles and such, all the lanterns, you can see that another storage room. There are trunks against the wall. Some of them also match the one that Godfried carries around, but a lot of them are just like mundane brown trunks. They're stacked against the wall. All of them are latched shut. Other than that, the space seems empty. There's a rug on the floor, but it's just sort of empty space.
Okay. Well, that makes this easier for her, so that's not really a problem.
All right. While Val is cleaning the storage space, Amalthea and Gare are, they have gone outside at this point. They're outside. They're sort of hanging out in the front yard. Maybe Amalthea's like playing with Garlic a little bit as Garlic tries to get some shut eye because she does not respect, animal boundaries. And
He's too bothered by it.
Gare's out there with her, just making sure she doesn't get caught by wolves. Not that he would know what to do if she did. But it makes
he
him
would
feel
yell
better.
for Octavia or Val, and they would handle it.
Yeah, he's good at yelling. Octavia and Edwin, are you guys in the sitting area?
Yeah,
Was Octavia outside still?
Octavia was outside, but after she made her little snowman, she went back inside and mentioned while she was out, like, hey, there's an ice box in the back. We can pick something out for dinner once Godfrey comes back. So, did Amalthea or Gare, if they're outside, do they notice the snowman?
Amalthea notices the snowman as she's harassing Valente and not really recognizing it as a snowman. In a moment of just teenage destructive violence, she steps on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Octavia probably, if she...
Octavia gets like a shiver down her spine, like, someone has disturbed my work.
No one appreciates art.
But as you guys are in the sitting area, just kind of hanging out, looking around, you hear a door open from the side of the house no one has yet visited. You hear someone like sort of shuffling along before the door behind you, the one that's close to the entrance. So this one. I forgot I can point at things. This one. It opens and a new person shuffles on in. This person is an old woman by the looks of it. She's got bluish hair. She's wearing like an apron and like thick winter boots, and she's leaning pretty heavily on her cane, and she just kind of like opens the door. She squints around. She doesn't seem to notice you're there immediately. So she notices the fire's on though. So she just kind of like shuffles into the room, and then she notices you. Specifically, she notices Octavia. She's just gonna turn to Octavia, and she's just gonna like look at you for a second, as if like searching in her brain for something, before like feeling around on her apron for her pocket. She pulls out a small leaf of paper. She like squints at it, she reads, and she says, "Oh, guests. Yes, I remember, guests."
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, young lady. Who might you be? And she squints at the paper again, as if looking for a name, but she probably doesn't find one.
Yeah, because Godfrey, of course, didn't write names down on his note. Of course. My name's Octavia. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Octavia. Are you, one of Merope's friends?
Actually, I know Godfrey.
Oh, from school?
Yeah, around school.
Oh, excellent, excellent. You look like a young lady that gets good grades.
Octavia is honestly like feels very flattered by that. Like, thank you, ma'am.
All right. Now that Alika has officially made her appearance, she does have art. So give me 1 second.
Good. I was waiting. I was so waiting. I was like,
old lady moment.
Yeah.
There she is.
Oh my god. Hold on.
Yo,
Oh my
old
gosh.
lady
She
just
looks
dropped.
so sweet.
I love her. I love her blouse.
She's serving looks. But yeah, she's she's gonna like smile at you, be like, "Oh, that's good. My son doesn't have very many friends, so it's nice when people come over."
That's good to hear. Well, not quite, but
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I'm glad to be here or something.
I'm glad to be here. Octavia's like usually has some social graces, but she's also a little bit like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting this.
As the old woman shuffles further into the room, she notices Edwin and she starts a little bit and she like blinks at Edwin and she says, "Oh, Marco, you're here too."
Oh.
Edwin is like looks at Octavia like, do I interrupt her? Do I tell her that's not me?
Octavia is kind of trying to think about what Godfrey said. And just,
Yeah. Edwin is just after a minute like, "Oh, I think you got me confused for someone else. I'm Edwin."
Edwin? Huh. I'm sorry, young man. I mistook you for somewhere else there for a second. Must be the hair. And then she like reaches out and ruffles your hair. Aw. She'll say,
Edwin is fine with this. He can't stop that grandma.
uh, after sufficiently ruining Edwin's hairstyle, she's gonna shuffle forward to sit on the couch next to you, and she's gonna say, "So what brings you two all the way out here to Luan?"
Oh boy.
It's actually, well, it's a little bit to do with school. Actually, Edwin isn't from the school in Luan. He came for a visit, so it's almost like a foreign exchange student thing.
Oh, foreign exchange from one of the schools out east? I hear there's a big one near what do they call the country? And she's gonna snap her fingers a couple times, but then whatever she's thinking just fades from her mind. She doesn't complete the sentence.
Edwin just says, "Yeah, that one."
Oh, that's so nice. What a long way to travel. You must not be used to the cold.
Yeah, it's a little chilly.
And at that, she's going to grab the dog's blanket and sort of just like put it over your knees.
Oh, thank you.
Millicent will understand. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Millicent,
I think
Tom can
Millicent's
take it back if
current-
she's upset.
I think fortunately Millicent's currently like
Indisposed.
accosting Archibald in the stairs. Yeah.
Millicent's still keeping a very close eye on Archibald because he smells like threat.
Lizard.
Yeah, he smells like
Illegal
lizard.
sense.
But yes, the old woman is then just going to like hum to herself and say, "Oh, I never introduced myself. My name is Alika. I'm a gladiator, you see." And then she's gonna like think for a second more, and she's gonna say, "No, I was a gladiator. And then she just fades off.
We saw your sword on the mantelpiece when we came in.
Oh yes, that's my father's sword. I take it with me everywhere.
Oh, it was originally your father's.
Mm-hmm.
It's in wonderful condition.
Oh, a warrior has to take good care of their weapons. You never know when you might need them. And then she like taps the side of her head, like knowingly, like yes, wisdom.
Octavia, I will have to say, Octavia's like just looking at this old woman like very warmly. Like just, I like you.
Grandma acquired. Alika is going to notice that there's shuffling around in the other room. Valente has at this point probably made it to the bathroom. And she's gonna say, "Oh, are there other people here?"
Yes, there's several of us actually that came in. Some of us are at the school. Some people just came in with Edwin.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get a lot of visitors. I wish I knew you were coming earlier. I would have prepared a meal or something.
It's okay. It was short notice.
Well, you're welcome to stay as
Yeah.
long as you like. I'm afraid upstairs we have not that much room, but in the living room and such, there should be couches and then she looks around. She's like, "Oh, we're in the living room right now. We'll make space for you."
Yep.
Yeah, don't worry about us.
Yeah.
We got it
It's all
figured
good.
out.
As you guys are talking to Mrs. Alika, or Miss Alika, I should say, eventually the sun fully goes down at this point. It's been maybe like 2.5 hours since Godfried left, so he should be back any moment. Oh, what's up?
I was like 2.5?
2.5 hours.
Well, he got kept for tea.
Valente's been slowly chewing through the house. Is pretty much done at this point, aside from the far room. I'll get rid of Alec at this point. And put back up the.
Hi, Grandma.
Bye, Grandma. She's still here.
Okay. I'm just like, no, I wouldn't say that. I'm just like, bye from Grandma's portrait on screen. Goodness.
Yeah, she's still here. The only room that you haven't had the chance to clean, Valente, is obviously the basement, which is locked again. It seems that Millicent, as soon as Archibald was clear of the door, deadbolted it again with aggressive force, as if to say, "That's not where you belong. Don't go down there." But now the only other room that is not clean, but the door is ajar right now, is Alika's room. Do you enter?
I think so. Val will walk. I mean, let me look at the. So they're in the sitting area, yeah?
Yep.
Like everyone else?
Archibald, where are you?
Archibald is kind of vibing in the kitchen, just sort of being around the dog.
Archibald's
I don't know.
been backed into the back corner by the dog.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, I don't want to do anything weird. I'm just gonna like vibe here, continue eating that apple I was eating. Offer the dog a piece of the bread I bought. Maybe.
Millicent sniffs the bread, and after determining that it's probably not poison, she gingerly takes it from your hand and then trots off to go eat it in the storage room. But not before giving you a serious side eye.
Don't think you can bribe me.
This isn't gonna work twice. But yes, Valente, the door to what you assume to be Alika's room is open because she was reportedly sleeping in there, and it's open now. You hear voices in the other room, one of which you do not recognize.
Val will walk into that room and kind of pull the cloth down so that her entire face is visible, and say, hi.
Are you in the sitting area?
Yeah, wherever Alika is.
She's there, and she's gonna turn around, she's gonna squint at you, and she's gonna say, hello.
Some cleaning. Do I have permission to enter your quarters?
She's gonna, like, think real hard for a moment, and she's gonna open her mouth as if she's about to call you some name, some, like, familiar name, before, like, stopping herself, and she's gonna say, yeah, of course you can.
Cool. And then Val will go and do that.
Alright. Well, this is a new room, which means I have to describe it to you. Alright. There is a bed in here. That is the most notable thing. It is at least like a queen-size bed, so big enough for 2 people. But one of the sides of the sheets is folded and like made, so one side is clearly not used. There is a wardrobe against the far wall. Simple make, much like the rest of the furniture. There is on the wall next to the wardrobe, excuse me, I just started shivering. I just felt like a cold flash. I think a ghost just passed through me.
Shivers.
Just a local ghost.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It was this house. Is every NPC's house haunted? Like,
yeah, including mine. Christ.
no,
The
they're all.
NPC?
We've only Amalthea doesn't have a house.
has a
Godfried and Lethair's houses are definitely haunted. Gare is the thing that haunts his house. Like, come on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sad you guys didn't like adventure through Gare's house. His house is hilarious. But anyways,
I hadn't quite established the level of personal space invasion for my character at that point
no,
yet.
that's
It came
valid.
later.
I mean, you could always go back. Like I said, fast travel eventually. But I'm in the middle of describing this room, so let me just get back to that. The first thing you notice as you enter the room is directly across from the door on the far wall, there is like a framed, it kind of looks like a poster, but like an old poster. On it, there's like a picture of a person, but given that you're currently just scanning the room, that's all I'm gonna give you for now. Next to the bed, there's a nightstand with like a little frame on it, and a book. There's like lanterns on the walls. And other than that, it seems to just be a fairly standard like bedroom. It's not less messy than the rest of the house, but there's no dog hair in here.
The poster?
Alright, you approach the poster, and it seems to depict a heavily muscled woman holding a sword on it. And the poster seems quite old. There's water stains around the edges, and it's a little bit ripped and torn here and there. And the poster invites you to challenge the current reigning arena champion of Luan circa 1771. Apparently, she will be fighting on the 23rd day of the second month, and she wants everyone to come enjoy the performance. You know that this year is 1791, so this clearly happened about 20 years ago.
Dope. I don't really have anything to say about that. Yeah, so I was just gonna start cleaning then.
Alright. As you walk around the room, you're lifting stuff up. You're, I assume, like, putting stuff in drawers where you see there's stuff lying around.
Mm-hmm.
As you make your way to the bed, and you flip over the bed covers and, shake stuff out a little bit, it's not dusty in here or anything. It seems to be a fairly, clean place for someone to live. Excuse me, my throat just got so dry. I do think there's a ghost in here.
Sam's being killed, actually?
Oh no.
Why is a dry throat haunting? Why is that what...
I'm being possessed, help. But as you make your way over to the nightstand, you take the little portrait frame in your hand. Do you look at it, or do you simply put it back and mind your business?
Glances at it, unless, and like, probably, yeah, I'll look at it. I mean, it's there. And he got permission from technically a mentally infirm woman, but yeah, he got permission.
The portrait seems to depict two people holding a baby, as if it's, like a family portrait. But you notice that it is very, like, nice quality. It's extremely damaged, but it is a very nice quality painting. I have an asset for this. Would you like to see it, or would you like to keep it?
Yes, give me a second.
I think we would, yeah.
This is going to be really funny to admit on stream, but I was playing Minecraft.
No, that's valid. You're
so I
allowed.
just switched. Okay, hi, I'm here. I would love to see this.
Hi.
I would love to see this
so
after.
the portrait looks like this.
Oh my god!
So two people and a baby. The portrait has clearly been through it. It's covered in stains and dirt and just dust that never quite got let go. You don't immediately recognize anyone in the picture.
Oh,
I love
Jesus
their outfits.
Christ, is that man's hair more blue than Godfried's is?
You're not in the room. You don't get to ask questions.
Fuck!
I'm just thinking about the baby. And
The lore is going on here, and I'm in the corner, like, playing,
Beasts.
I don't know.
Playing footsie with the dog. No, you've been released from
Yeah.
the dog's clutches at this point. Millicent is off eating bread. You're allowed to sneak into the room if you so are inclined.
I will sidle in at exactly this moment in the background. I will not see the painting in time, but I will sidle into the main room where everyone else is.
Okay. Val, do you return the painting to where it was before?
Yeah.
All right.
Val's.
I will
Val
post all
is
these images
going-
in the chat later, by the way.
Yeah.
Is-
Val is going to smile very fondly, because he actually, not with him, but he does have a very similar portrait of himself, Mordana, and Isaiah, age 4,
Aww. That's
back
cute.
in Kadane. So he sees that and he's like, "Yeah, I get it. I get it when you get all fancy because you got your baby and your family."
I want to see
so-
Val's family portrait.
I'm working on it actually.
Oh,
so
yay!
Yay!
I would never say that Val has this and then not draw it. I'm not a monster. So yeah. So Val sees that and is like, "Yeah, you know when you have baby and you take a picture." So yeah, but then
Ye
Val
old
just-
Insta.
yeah. But then yeah, Val's like, "Dope," and then it's cleaning time. He said he was going to, and that was the truth, and so he will.
The only other thing of note you find in the room, excuse me, let me just quickly read through my notes to make sure. The only other thing you find in the room,
That's
actually-
like, oh, and then also there's an entire document stating that Godfrey's actually made of metal entirely.
yeah, he's just a robot.
Direct line descended from Sigurd, and also is a robot, and
my
also is like, I don't know, let's make him like Perseti's godson or some shit.
Yeah,
Like, why not?
wow. He's got a lot going on. No wonder he's so busy.
Metal
that
was the
boy full
first
of
thing that
cold-blooded
came to
men.
mind, okay? I was just like, what's something that would be interesting, but also I can't, like, saying, oh, that he's X the thing, if he actually was, would be kind of, like, I don't know, I had to be something completely like, just not something that would happen, and that was the first thing that came to mind.
I
No,
hate to say it,
I
but
know,
you're
I
running
just- I just-
you're playing in a
I-
campaign run by a Drakengard fan, so quite literally everything is on the table right now.
Yeah.
I saw the art you did.
Making
I
robots?
saw the art.
You're making ye old medieval robots, Sam?
Yes,
I will
I-
say nothing about my plans for the future.
I got to see her
that is
art
Drakengard.
before.
What
I
was-
saw the last campaign's art
Right.
before you guys who were there saw it.
Just
Like,
whatever.
just fire. And well, yeah, you made it though.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, no, I watched her like go week by week and say, which Fire Emblem character do you want me to turn into a wall of meat today? Like,
I do believe that is a direct quote.
All of it makes sense for where we're at. I don't think robots can bleed in medieval settings, and so far we have in fact seen Godfrey bleed.
I mean, they bleed near. Who can say? No, I'm not. I'm not barking you down the street. Godfrey is not a robot. He is made of meat. If you stab him, he will die probably.
God, bleed. Am I right, Cameron? No.
Yeah. So
Ow.
true, King.
Anyway,
You find two more things of major note. So as you open the wardrobe to just like put away a discarded sweater, you notice that the top of the wardrobe has like a shelf in it,
mhm.
and on that shelf are a couple of children's toys. Most of them seem to be like wooden figurines of animals and such, maybe like a crudely carved person. But you also find like a plush horse. It's missing an eyeball, but it seems to have been well loved in its time. They're all just kind of like sitting there like decorations more than someone's using them. Just lined up looking out at the room. The other significant thing you find is as you open the nightstand drawer to maybe like put away some discarded papers, maybe shelve that book, you find that inside the drawer is a knife. But perhaps that's normal here.
I mean, Val isn't too worried about that.
Yeah. You find a knife.
Val's like, yeah, nice.
Underneath the knife are a couple loose papers. But other than that, does not seem to be too significant.
How would
A dagger, I
Val-
should say specifically, a dagger, not like a kitchen knife, like a weapon.
What does the dagger look like?
I don't
Sorry,
know. You're
I'm
not in
there.
the room.
I'm not in the room. Damn it.
ask for everyone else's sake what the dagger looks like? But Val doesn't have any particular reason. Val's just like, ooh, cool weapon.
It seems to be some sort of like. Actually, can you make a weaponry check just so I know how to describe this?
Absolutely. Val has +5 to weaponry, so.
Damn.
What are you? It's a knife.
No, yeah.
Why do you ask for a check if it's just a knife?
But like Val would know the words.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an 18.
18. You can tell that this is some sort of like, not necessarily for combat. It is very sharp. It's clearly sharpened and usable as a lethal weapon, but this is more for like, something someone would use in a performance. Probably like, given the
totally
context clues of the big poster on the wall, an arena thing. It is, it's not like of superior make. It's very much like mass produced, but it does have some intricate sort of like pressed on carvings in the hilt and handle that say someone tried to make it look nicer than it actually is.
Dope.
It's about the length of like your forearm.
Cool. Yeah, Val will just be like, nice. And then put it back.
Dope. Hey, this old woman fucks.
Yeah, but that's cool. Thank you for all the fun little things that Val finds. Val will now do what he said he was gonna do.
All right.
Which is...
It doesn't take you very long to clean this room, mostly because out of all the rooms in the house, this one is obviously the most lived in, so most stuff is either where it belongs or not far from where it belongs. So hold on, I'm getting distracted by Twitter notifications. But after you clean up, you find yourself reconvening with everyone else. Amalthea and Gare have returned from their outside journey. Amalthea reports the tale of how she saw something chase a bunny into the woods. She's pretty sure it wasn't like
with
a
rapt
creature.
attention.
And Gare just kind of like stands there, eyes glazed over. He's bored. He wants to go home. It's cold up here. He's not used to these cold temperatures.
Now the entire house smells like bleach.
Everything smells like bleach. There's like a random old lady here who keeps like trying to talk to him, and he just does not. She's not that much older than him. Gare's like not young.
Yeah.
She's maybe like 15 years older than him.
I will say, like, Octavia's like, do you want to go practice?
Gare, just like the tiniest bit, seems to perk up at that. He's like, fine. You know what? Fine. It'd be more interesting. And then he marches out of the house.
Hope you found a good stick.
He grumbles something that you can't entirely make out. No, you go.
I think Octavia does. Is it still, like, it's dark out, but is there still enough light in the front yard that
there's enough light coming from the windows in the front yard that you can see?
Okay. She's like, I'll be right back. Or, well, we'll see how long it takes before he gets tired.
Alright, would you like to make a check to see how good he does in this lesson? I'm not gonna make you go through the training montage again.
Okay.
Unless you'd like to. You can if you want to.
We'll see how good the role is, I think.
What are you trying to teach him today?
Okay, combat, so that would just be a plus. I'm thinking I'm teaching him how to dodge.
How to dodge. Alright, go for it.
Okay, so I'll roll combat. So that's a +1. Ooh, better this time. 17.
17. Wow, that's pretty good. Gare takes to dodging like a fish would take to water. He's very good at not being in the path of a sword, even if that sword is just like a stick you found on the road. He takes this lesson much easier. Maybe it's because he hasn't been carrying around a rock all day. But he is going to gain a +1 to his speed skill.
Oh,
To a speed stat, I should say.
I'm gonna
As a
add that
reward for
it.
his training. As are you.
What?
+1.
Wow.
+1 to speed. Okay, let me
Yeah.
do.
His quick feet in the face of this stick you've brandished at him makes you reassess your own footwork a little bit, and who knows, maybe you're feeling a little tiny bit faster now. I've modified Ghost Sheet already.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's like, wow, he has 10.
No, yeah, I just did it.
Okay, then I'll modify Octavia's.
Yeah, if you guys interact with NPCs, like, with aligning, not even aligning, like, if you interact with NPCs in a significant way, in a teacher-student way, you can learn things, and they can learn things, and you can just get non-level up stat bonuses. Or stat level ups, I should say.
Nice! Like, that's good to speed. I'm, like, slowly on my way to getting out of the negative modifier of speed.
This is the compensation in, like, stat points for spending your roleplay time not scouring everyone's personal possessions and corpses.
But you guys get lore.
You guys get that sweet lore, which
Sweet,
you
sweet
can.
Yeah, but you get to beat the shit out of Gare, which is like lore unto itself, really.
I would say, like, because they were dodging, he did pretty well. Like, she only got like a few whacks on him, and afterwards she like gives him a ginger like pat on the shoulder, like, good job out there.
He
Right in the
winces
same
slightly
spot
as if.
right, the same spot she whacked him earlier.
Yeah, no, he winces slightly because you have just touched a fresh bruise.
Shit, sorry.
But he seems like he's like feels a little proud of himself. He's like, wow, I sure did not get hit a bunch of times.
Yeah, he should be proud of that. And Octavia's like, yeah, you should be proud of that. You worked hard and you did a good job.
As you guys finish up your little training session and make your way inside, you can see that Alika has shuffled off to the bathroom. You can hear the, like, water in the tub running, so clearly she's, like, taking a bath or whatever, doing old lady stuff. Leaving the entire party, minus Gottfried, of course, he's not home. It's been about 3 hours at this point.
Octavia is getting a little bit like, should we go look for him?
But yeah, you're all in the room together. Millicent is not here. She's outside on the porch, just kind of hanging.
There's a chance. Pauses and is like, well, I'm not gonna say that he's definitely in danger, because there's a chance that the person that he went to go talk to is just being conversational against his will. But also, I am afraid that if we don't leave now and he is in trouble, we will get there too late because it's an hour away.
Yeah. And also, it's Gottfried. I'm sure he'd find a way to bulldoze outside of that situation verbally.
This is true.
Should some of us stay here with his mom, or?
I mean,
she seems to take care of herself mostly, even when he's not here.
That's true. Well, my other question is, did he tell us exactly where he was going?
I don't believe so.
Is any fresh snow come on the ground? Would it be possible to check tracks?
The fresh snow started after he left.
Damn it.
So, if there were tracks, they've been covered.
Can I smell him?
Gross.
I
don't even know what you would roll for that. Here. What do you roll for that? Nature?
I honestly didn't think I'd get this far. I guess. Nature.
Yeah, you want to make a nature roll?
Or is bestiary too degrading here?
You can try that one, I guess. A human is a beast.
You don't want to. It's way worse than nature. I was kidding.
Man is the greatest beast of all.
Fuck. That'll be a 5.
You still sitting in the living room. You let out a long, like, ponderous sniff. You think
it's
to
all
yourself
dog
for
hair.
a moment, and then you realize this is where he lives. I mean, I guess the house probably smells like him. Also, you get a dog hair up your nose.
I would say it mostly smells like bleach, actually, at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this smells. I can smell bleach and Godfrey juices and also dogs.
Wait, does Archibald say specifically
That is
Godfrey
the
juices?
grossest thing you can say.
He does not say that out loud. He thinks it, and when he thinks that, he means that the man walks around coated in vials of blood at all times.
Uh-huh.
That's
Sure,
what
you
I
are.
meant by it.
Juice.
That's what I meant by it, you freaks. Come on. That's what I mean.
Sure.
I'm talking about the dude's blood collection.
Yeah, we have referred to it as the juice before.
What's better than this? Just guys being dudes.
Did I think about the blood and then choose to say it in the weirdest way possible so I'd get this reaction? Maybe. But you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of smells like bleach, dog hair, and I guess juices.
I still haven't met his mother. I haven't interacted with his mother at all.
No,
I'm just
yeah,
there in the back. She hasn't noticed yet that I'm here.
She
I just
doesn't
sort of
know you're
slid
there.
in.
She's still in the bathroom doing her thing. You hear water.
Oh.
You assume she's not drowning. She hasn't screamed or anything. You heard the door lock, so. All right. What are you guys doing? Are you guys just hanging out, or are you exchanging information? Are you going out? What's the scoop?
I feel like we.
Yeah, Val said his point of like, I don't want to just go, and then it turns out that he's fine, and he's like, and also we don't really know where he's going, but also like, if we don't leave now and he is in trouble, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
What if you tried to send the pigeon to him and then we followed the pigeon?
Hey, that's an idea.
Val, we good?
I sniffed bleach. This is a real plan.
Archie
Yeah.
in the corner huffing bleach.
Oh god.
Val is going to look at him and very, very kindly say, please, for your own brain, don't. Oh my god, bees. Sorry. Again, I'm playing Minecraft, there's bees. I got
Bees.
surprised.
Minecraft bees are cute.
Yeah, he's going to... Yeah, I guess we can try that. I guess that's a solution. Okay. He pulls the, magical slip of paper out from his breast pocket and writes down, Godfrey, comma, you good? Question mark. Val.
As you finish writing, you hear a tapping at the far window, and as you look towards the window, you see a pigeon perched on the windowsill, looking curiously at you, like, "Let me in? Am I in? Help?"
Val everyone else is like, so, is it just me, or are we all on an event? But yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
Is there anyone else? Anyone who wants to stay?
Sorry, wait, what are we doing?
We're gonna follow the pigeon.
We're gonna follow the pigeon.
Right, yeah, sure. Let's go. Who's staying? Who's going?
Val's say I don't think all of us leaving at once. Like, I don't know, maybe Alika won't notice, but also it could freak her out and I'd feel
Good.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of squint up at you two. Alika is...
Godfrey's
His
mom.
mother.
Oh. Yeah, she doesn't even know I'm here yet.
Okay.
So
So
I'll
I'm
go.
assuming. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
If we are worried about something bad happening, I should probably go because I can heal.
Yeah.
Val goes, just so everyone knows, this is not. If you're like, oh, I can't. This is not a judgment. I'm not gonna call you a little bitch or anything. Does anyone want to stay?
Amalthea and Gare are both gonna look at each other and say, "Should we stay?"
If you, this is if you want to.
Amalthea is gonna mumble to herself and say, "It's kind of cold out," and Gare is going to agree to that.
Yeah, it's
How
okay,
about-
Garrett. We didn't ask you. We know.
Gare's gonna give you like the most sarcastic smile ever.
Hey, he worked hard today.
Val's going to give
Like,
Archibald a look
Octavia,
of,
like, punches Archibald in the arm. Like, hey, man.
Gare defense squad roll up. Get his
Uh,
ass.
Anyway, so it's like, okay, if you two want to stay, Alika doesn't come home and think I don't know, she's already got issues. Let's go
Amalthea's gonna
follow.
say, I'll stay. I like old people. They smell fun.
Val looking
That's
at
the
her,
spirit.
wondering.
And then
Val's
she's gonna look at Gare, like, just so quickly.
Val's looking at Amalthea with a face that probably means, do I count? And then
Amalthea quickly looks at Val with a face that obviously says, "Yes, you do."
night. Val looks content with that answer. And it's going to say, okay, let's go follow a pigeon.
The pigeon has been like tapping at the back window this whole time, like, "Let me in, let me in, let me in. Why won't you let me in? Let me do my job. Let me in."
Yeah. So Val will walk out and untie Garlic and get on him. Garlic seems surprised. He thought he was done for the day.
You're back on the clock, King.
And then gives the pigeon the piece of paper when everyone seems ready to start going.
The pigeon happily takes a piece of paper, and as soon as it has it in its grasp, it flies off to the, hold on, let me do directions in my brain. Your little right, so east, no, west. Yeah, west.
All right. Val's gonna. How are we gonna do this? Because I think following on Garlic would be the only way to keep pace with it. But also, only 2 people could do that at once.
How about
Yeah.
how about Edwin gets? I'm just volunteering. We can switch it up, but I assume like it would be best for Edwin to be on Garlic too because Edwin can
Yeah.
heal.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
Edwin, have fun holding on to a man, and
Yeah.
let's go.
Alright, you thunder off after the pigeon with the rest of you bringing up the rear. You trot along, or not trot, you like horse speed.
Gallop?
Do you mean
Yeah,
the word gallop?
You gallop along. For about 15 minutes before you spot a dark shadow on the road that looks like a person holding a lantern and dragging something behind them.
Huh?
Oh no.
What did he do?
Does the pigeon start to land?
Yeah, the pigeon circles once and then lands on this person's shoulder. They seem surprised by the appearance of a bird shoving a piece of paper in their face.
Val
As you get closer, you can tell that, oh, this person is absolutely wearing Godfried's cloak. They just have the hood up, so you can assume it's probably Godfried.
God. Val will hop off the horse with Edwin in tow and go, "Hey, you took longer than you said you would. Are you okay? What are you dragging?"
Godfrey's gonna just like stare at you for a second as you assault him with questions, and he's gonna look behind him and he said, she likes to talk, so I felt rude leaving. And then he sort of yanks the item that's behind him and he says, "She gave me this. Maybe we can use it?" And he is going to, it's sort of like a sled thing, but you can see that it's got wheels on the bottom. And she said what?
Sidecar.
What?
It's basically never mind. So it's like a sled with wheels.
It's like a little sled with wheels, but it's like it's sort of like a wagon almost.
You call it a convoy?
You could perhaps call it a convoy.
You don't quite say.
All right, so I'm gonna explain this as a DM, not as a Godfried. But he has returned from his neighbor's house with a convoy. This convoy can hold 20 items. It cannot be accessed during combat, but you can store all of your extra shit in it. Currently, there is just something wrapped in paper inside, but otherwise it is empty. And Godfrey gestures at it, and he says, "She gave me a loaf of weird bread too, so I guess we can just have that for dinner."
Val looks at him, like, and it's giving him like this look of like, "Do you not think I could make something better?" But Val's like, "Whatever," and says, "All right, we can hook this up to Garlic and head back. I'm glad you're all right. I figured this is just what happened, but because your neighbor's house was an hour away, I didn't want to be wrong in case something had happened, because then it would have taken us too long to get to you."
Yeah, well,
So,
I like to pretend things take far shorter time than they usually end up being. So, sorry for freaking you out, I guess.
don't we all? No worries.
Edwin's probably still up on Garlic because he's not very fast at dismounting, so he was like, "I'll just stay here until I need to get off," and he's like, from back on Garlic, like, "Yeah, it's okay."
Yeah, Val nods. Val nods and says, "I'd rather have someone to worry about than not worry at all."
Godfrey doesn't seem to know what to do with that. He just kind of like stands there for a second, and then he just says, "Okay," and starts walking.
Yep. Val will attach the convoy to Garlic. Garlic does know what this is because he's been trained to carry stuff like this, and is like, "Yeah, oh yeah, Job, I know this one."
Job, got it. It's a little bit hard to make it move in the snow because it's clearly made for better terrain.
Yeah,
but it moves, and Garlic's a strong boy.
he's very strong, and he's like, "I didn't know what the beasts were earlier, but this, yeah, I got this."
Wagon? I understand.
Wagon. Yes. So much slower than they galloped off, because that felt like it could have been an emergency, and also Val doesn't want to like destroy the convoy right after they got it. But I would say it's a canter. They go and head back in the direction that they came. And whenever they meet up with Octavia and Archibald, they explain the situation so everyone can head back. No worries. Everything's fine.
All right, excellent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give a quick summary of the rest of the night, because we are going on about 3 hours now.
Oh yeah.
I have no major events for the rest of the Don't be afraid!
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid. So the rest of the night goes by. You guys go back to the house. The weird bread that Godfrey was given by his neighbor turns out to be something with like nuts in it. But it's perfectly edible. It's actually quite good. He explains that his neighbor spends a lot of time baking, and that she usually takes care of the house when he's not home. As he said before, so she does a lot of the cooking when he's not around. So this is just like she didn't know he was coming home, so she'd already made it, give it to him. You all have food for the night. Excellent.
Nice.
Um,
Octavia asks if Godfrey is allergic to nuts, and that's why he's called it weird bread.
he is not allergic to nuts. He does not divulge if he's allergic to other things, though.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
God, this is just kidding.
What?
You need to know the Godfrey weaknesses?
We already know he's vegetarian.
Yeah, just like his weakness is just like give him a hot dog. They don't have
Float on impact? No. No.
He might throw up.
He won't be happy with you. He'd also be probably pretty curious as to how the hell you got a hot dog in ancient Jugdral. Not ancient Jugdral.
Sausage.
Current Jugdral. Yeah, I guess they have sausages.
Sausage.
Hot dogs have a certain
Je ne
flair
sais
to them,
quoi.
though. Yeah. I don't speak
They're
French, but
actually,
you got it.
making a farce is not too difficult if... Sorry, why do I know this?
No, share with us. I want to learn.
Making a farce, which is basically how you make hot dogs, is you take normal beef and you emulsify it with ice and water to make it basically turn into a paste rather than like
Yum.
chunky. And so honestly, if you had the determination to cut it up to like work with it enough to turn it into a paste, or if you had, like ground blade, which is knife magic, you could probably do it.
Oh, I've learned so much about hot dogs in the Fire Emblem canon today. Thank you.
I guess we
Good
shouldn't be surprised that a sausage is a relatively easy thing to make in ancient time. Like, I guess we should have considered that, but yeah.
But after dinner, things.
A lot of people think that hot dogs are like made weirdly. They're like, oh, it's like processed, and so it does this, and it's like, no, it's just a farce.
It's just a meat sludge. And
Yep.
isn't that beautiful?
Anyway,
Eventually, at some point over the course of the night, Archibald does in fact make first contact with the lady of the house.
Just like walking around in the house with everyone moving amongst them, just like almost bump into her. It's like, oh.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to really like recognize that you're like a new person in the house. She actually just like says she greets you, but not by your name. She actually calls you Agamemnon instead of your actual name, even after you introduce yourself to her. But she just keeps trucking along. She not a care in the world over there.
He would say nothing. He would just like, yep, me.
That's me. But yeah, she soon goes off to bed. She's old. She's an early bedtime. And then everyone else sets up their cots, I assume. And do you guys all go to bed, or are you up to anything? Gottfried, actually, I'm gonna do Gottfried first because he's got his own living situation. Gottfried is going to inform you that if anything happens during the night that seems abnormal, just bang on the basement door and he'll hear it. Other than that, good night. And then he turns around, but not before letting Millicent out through the front door. Apparently she sleeps outside on the porch.
Good girl.
Boopy. He does mention that she's a guard dog, so if anything does go wrong outside, she'll start losing her mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got an okay security system as is. But thank you for worrying, King. Val does not say King. That was a meism. Anyway.
Bestie.
That was me going, yeah, it's good, King. Not Val. Val would never. Val would not call people King. Val would think it was weird. Anyway. Yeah, Val, I think, especially since he cleaned an entire house, and bleach fumes do that to you, he's pretty tired. He's like, yeah, my head kind of hurts. I'm gonna go to bed. It's been a long time since I've cleaned a lot in one sitting, and it's a lot of bending over, and he's tired, so he's gonna He'll take the couch, and he'll pass the fuck out is the clinical term.
Good night, King. Are the rest of you also passing the fuck out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find. Do I get the couch or the floor?
You get a
Probably the
cot.
floor.
You get
You
a
get
cot.
a cot.
Val took the
there's
couch,
5
which means everyone else
cots.
gets a cot.
Cots.
Oh, cool. This is new for Archibald. No, it's not. He's old.
The cots are very like thin. They're like white linen, mostly fabric supported by wood. Clearly meant to be moved and shuffled around a lot. You could almost equate them to like the kind of cots you'd see in a church or medical facility.
I wish Octavia uses like her cloak and her coat to kind of like give a little bit more padding and also like as a pillow. I assume like Godfrey was able to find some extra blankets.
Yeah,
or
no,
are there
there's blankets and pillows. Most of them are like in various stages of having the shit kicked out of them by at least one dog.
Yep.
But there's enough for everyone. And the hearth is still going, so it is nice and warm in here.
And probably Octavia uses the bathroom soon after dinner and is kind of in her pajamas for the night and just like night and goes to bed.
Alright. Amalthea and Gare are also going to settle on their cots in the storage room. They've sort of claimed this space as their own. And Amalthea immediately, good night. She walked today. That was too much work. She stepped on a snowman. You can't imagine how much strength that took. So she's out. Gare spends like, oh my god, Facebook. Hi, get out of here. No, don't open. Okay. Gare is going to spend like maybe an hour or two just kind of like staring at the ceiling. Like he's ponderous lately. He's thinking. But obviously Amalthea is asleep, so she doesn't comment on it. But he's just, he's staring and thinking, as we often do. But slowly all of you drift to sleep. And as you drift to sleep, you notice that you feel a little bit weird, as if there might be like a strange dream coming on. But who can say what it's gonna be? Perhaps something in that bread made you feel weird. Or red. I don't know.
It's the bleach. It's the bleach.
The combination of bleach fumes and weird mystery bread.
Congratulations, you've hotboxed the house.
But yes, that is the end of today's session. Before we leave, there was one character that I made art for that you guys actually didn't meet in this session. Would you like me to present that art to you now?
Is it the neighbor?
Yes. It is the neighbor. You could have followed him.
Why?
I mean, you could. I didn't say you have to, but I don't know. You could have. But yeah, this is the neighbor. Her name is Merope.
Sweet girl. That's who she thought. That's who she thought Octavia
was friends with.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does exist in the world. You may encounter her later, but you guys did not meet her today, so that's fine. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns before we wrap this session up?
I would like to add, an Elderman killed me in the middle of the RP session, and I had somehow my mic didn't pick me up going, oh fuck! Like that didn't happen.
Oof. Dwyer died.
I got my stuff back, don't worry guys.
Okay, that's good.
Congratulations.
The Minecraft updates, if anyone is curious.
Alright, does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Just so curious about the next session, and if
we should tell everyone that's watching this or the
this
VOD
Friday,
about
to any viewers in the future or current. I don't think we have any viewers right now. That's fine. Oh well.
I was watching and then
you're valid.
saw we didn't have anyone and I left.
That's valid. I'm mostly recording for my own posterity. But next session, so this Friday, is April Fool's. and if it wasn't
Mhm.
obvious by my little outro there, if they weren't having weird dreams before, they're about to have
Uh,
weird dreams now. It's gonna be
I was just
super low key combat. It's gonna be fun. I've already presented the rules to the players, but I will reread them at the start of the session because it's gonna be like a little truth or dare game. Truth or dare, I should say. Excuse me.
Yes, Truth or Dare.
Truth or dare. Yeah, you guys will have the chance to ask truths and do dares to each other, maybe discover some information about various characters along the way. You will retain all the information you learn when you wake up, so no need to worry about just forgetting everything. But it's gonna be
this is gonna be fun.
it's gonna be silly. It's gonna be weird. Everyone's got a weird outfit on. I put all the art on
Mhm.
Twitter, but I will represent it on Friday. Yeah, it should be interesting.
Some really I did some art for Valente and Octavia because Rand
Mhm.
pushed me for that. It's gonna be really great. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
What do we have? We
Uh,
have Wedding Valente, Bunny Edwin, Dancer Octavia. Cheppy, can I say what yours is, or is it still redacted?
I think we'll keep it redacted for now.
Redacted
No.
Topanga. We have Day of Devotion Amalthea. We have Dancer Gare, and we have Bunny Godfried. So, and we have a redacted for our fourth player because there will be a guest character. One session
Yes.
only.
it's
But it's
Sam.
not Spud.
It's me.
Okay, so it is Spud.
No, it's not Spud. Oh, that would have been
Wait, did
so
you
good
say
though. Why
player
didn't I
or
think
NPC?
NPC, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, one, and I do believe I told Japega, so it would be unfair to not tell the rest of you. It is an existing Fire Emblem character that exists in one of the games. So
Okay.
look forward to that.
I don't know
Okay.
which one. That's all I
Chevy
was
doesn't
told.
know which one.
Okay. It's
Assumed-
just a character.
assumed it was the case because Sam didn't elaborate. I was like, okay.
Uh-huh.
It'd be really funny if Sam was like, yeah, I told Chappie, and then I'm also gonna only give you partial information to make that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the plan for Friday. I still have a whole bunch of work to do in order to get that up and running. But yeah, anything else? I will post the art from because it was like 4 things from this session.
It's so much good stuff.
In the chat, so you guys can get a better look at all the character art and also that family portrait, because I know it was probably really low resolution on my screen. But yeah, are we good?
Thank you. Yeah.
I
Thank
Yeah.
think
you.
we are.
All
I
right.
think we're good.
Thank you all so much. See you on Friday.
See you then.
Bye.
See ya.
Adios.
Farewell,
Bye.
gamers.